Yeah,
Cool. What's up, YouTube? Make sure to hit that thumbs up as you guys are starting to join up. Make
yeah,
sure
hit
you
that
hit that
thumbs up.
subscribe over on YouTube. If you're over here on TikTok, hit that follow button, double tap that phone screen. We just started this live stream. We have William over here, 37 years old,
Yeah,
and you support Trump. Tell us why you support Trump. Go ahead.
I support Trump because I only vote for people who I get attracted to. That's mainly my main thing. I don't follow politics because it's mainly a waste of time in my life. And I didn't find Kamala Harris very attractive, so I kind of voted for Donald Trump because he has a hot wife.
Okay, you voted for Trump because you thought his wife was attractive.
Yeah, and I liked his policies.
What policy?
I don't know. I don't watch the news, but I think they
So
were
you
good.
liked his policy, but you don't know which policy you like.
Well, I knew him the day I voted, but I forgot about now because I don't care about Fox News.
I mean, he ran on like no new wars, getting rid of inflation, ending the Russian-Ukraine war, right?
Yeah, those are
Lowering
all good
prices down,
things.
gas prices down, all those things he's done the opposite of. We entered in a new war. The Russia-Ukraine war did not end in 24 hours. Inflation skyrocketed, gas prices skyrocketed.
Oh shit! Then I probably should have voted for Kamala Harris.
Probably. Appreciate you coming up here, troll though. Moving on to the next guest. How's it going? Do you support Trump?
Hey, hey, fuck you, bruh.
You're like 12. You have school tomorrow. Yes, I support Trump. Let the boss work. You gotta be a Russian bot, bro. Swear. Swear. Typically, we get pushed like 100 people get in here in like 4-ish minutes, and it's been like 5. So I'm gonna have to do a restart soon. Ad paid for by Eric Swalwell. Um, there we go, y'all. Don't let your parents get deported. My parents are here legally. You guys make sure to hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Make sure to double tap that phone screen over here on TikTok.
I think Epstein was right. He fucked me in the bed yesterday. Yeah. So
You're weird. Bam. Bam. I need to have a better, a better moderation. Look at my face. Yeah, what about it? Actually, I'll just leave it here. Bam. Um, why am I not getting pushed today? Wow. What a bummer. A restart this early would kill me. A restart this early would absolutely fry me. I guess we'll see how the next like 10 minutes go. Okay, actually, we'll give it 4 minutes. They changed the layout over on TikTok. Weird. Thank you for sharing the live. Hell, if you support Trump, join up in the guest box. There's still millions of people that support Trump. There's a lot of people that support Trump. So join up if you are one of them. If you support Trump, join up on the most recent one. The most recent shakeup that we have right now is rumors. Oh, well, first off, the Navy secretary got fired by Trump. This is amid the U.S. naval blockade. Thank you for the rose. So the U.S. Navy secretary got fired by Trump. Um, and then there are rumors that Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel might get fired next. Those are rumors. There's no dumb supporters left. It may seem like it. Every day we get less and less people that actually come up. Like it's just trolls, right? Days that is literally just trolls. We have 100 congruent viewers. It's just trolls and trolls and trolls. But it's they're mainly on Facebook, which is why I need to be able to get like a phone number up top. Because if you guys over go to my YouTube chat, most of the time over on YouTube, what's up YouTube? It's just Trump supporters bitching in the comment section. They don't use TikTok, I'm assuming. Same with like Facebook and Twitch. It's just gonna be people who are on TikTok, which is why I want to go get a phone number specifically for this so that they can dial in. so that YouTube can join in on the debates, and so Facebook and Twitch can too. We'll see. We're working on that. These chats are boring now. No, they're not really boring because a lot of shit is happening. A lot of insane shit is happening. But I mean, even if they're boring, I think it's good to have conversations like these to change minds. Who cares? Millions of Americans that are affected by this administration, and millions of people abroad. I guess the push is kind of later today. Interesting algorithm today. You have 11 views. In total, I had 345. And it's one of my. This is like a bad day. Millions of illegals. I said American citizens, but let's get a grip on reality. King Trump. Holy rage rate. Swear Russian bots. Hear about the update on the VA? Yes. Republican judge halted the votes, essentially voiding them until further notice. Taken it to the Supreme Court, but we know that the Supreme Court previously allowed the actual vote to go through, which means most likely they're going to side with the Democrats on this one. The new acting secretary of who's the? I haven't heard who's the new who's the acting secretary of Navy. I know. Did my mouse? Bruh. What a freaking bummer. Hold on. One moment, chat. Wireless mouses are a pain in the ass. At least the ones that I have. This one's also silent. There we go. Who's the acting Navy secretary? I haven't heard of it. I don't know who it is. Who is he? Huh. Interesting. What's up? There's the push. There's the freaking push. The algorithm was weird today. Just like don't get the new codes. There's rumors going around. I'm not gonna say them because again, they're just rumors. Nothing. I guess I can say rumors. There are rumors that a general stopped Donald Trump from getting the codes. Again, just rumors, not verified, not confirmed. But if anything is confirmed, I will let you guys know. We had one guest and they left. It was in New York Times. Did the New York Times report it? I don't know who it was, but it still hasn't been verified. It's coming from a general New York Times reports. I support Trump because he never supported Epstein. Are you serious? Trump goaded. Thank you for sharing the live. According to retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson, during an emergency meeting on Saturday, Trump tried to, quote, use nuclear codes on Iran, and he was stopped by General Dan Kane. According to Johnson, there is seriously something wrong with Trump. The thing is, he hasn't been. He's retired like decades. It's been decades since he's actually held a position of power. So, interesting. TDS much? I don't have Trump devotion syndrome now. That's you. He supported Epstein for his actions. He was definitely doing something. There are also unconfirmed rumors that Israel and the United States are going to continue strikes on Iran. Again, not verified. What? I did not mean to do that. My bad, chat. Nope, I didn't mean to do that either. I had to go to YouTube. He's very underrated, absolutely. YouTube chat has been quite silent. Oh no. What's the number to call in? There is no number. There is no number. Not yet. Not yet. Trump no longer associated with Epstein after his first arrest. How does that make Trump a bad person? False. Very false. 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 Jeffrey's a great guy. He likes beautiful women. Most on the younger side, yes. Jeremiah's Withers. What's up? Don't associate me with a racist. It's a joke, by the way. How's it going?
I have a question.
How old are you?
I was born 2008. Why?
What month?
May 7th.
You're not an adult. I'm sorry. If you have a question, you can ask in the comment section. Gonna be an adult. Quote, imbecile, you know nothing about Trump and Epstein. Not false. Clearly, you don't know shit. Chris, over on YouTube, why don't you click on the link in my bio? You come over to the TikTok and debate me. He's a horrible person, absolutely. You're not. I am actually, but I understand you're mad, Chris. Come over to TikTok. Let me dog walk you. How's it going? Do you support Trump?
No.
Cool. It's actually very hard because I forgot I'm not a mod on this account. Hold on, let me get mod powers. Mod, manage and control guests, full mods per bam and bam. I'll follow you back. There we go. Cleaning my room as we speak. W. Are we just gonna like chill here, chat? What are we doing? There's no solid evidence showing that they were associated after Epstein's first arrest. If wrong, prove me wrong. There's solid evidence that they were associated and he knew what he was doing. I don't know if I should hit a restart. It's a slow Wednesday, that's for sure. Oh, I have the YouTube chat over here as well. I forgot. There's no one over on Twitch. This week has gone by fast. A lot's happened this week. Yeah, the Trump on Rushmore airport and his birthday, and yeah. We got a master test next week on Tuesday. Good luck. If you're ever on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe. What is my chat doing? Why are they there's Trump supporters in both my chats and no one wants to debate me. Show the evidence, you quote DUMBFUCK. Yeah, Donald Trump said no 50th letter birthday to Jeffrey Epstein, saying may every day be another wonderful secret. A credible accuser accused Donald Trump of child rape in the Epstein files. Donald Trump called the sheriff after he was arrested, saying, we all knew what he was doing. I'm glad that you caught him, and you should investigate Ghislaine Maxwell, implying that he himself knew and didn't come forward about it until after it was made public. So, there's that. Why do you support him? I don't support him. Oh, who do you support? It doesn't matter. The word 2024 election already passed. How's it going? Do you support Trump?
No.
W. Take care. These YouTube comments sounds like typical. Oh, really? Literally. YouTube comments always are crazy, but I can't deny that. YouTube is always crazy. you guys want to support the live, the best way you can do so is like just hitting that thumbs up, you know, checking my link tree, joining the community, whether it be joining the Discord and the link tree in my bio, Instagram, TikTok if you're over on YouTube, YouTube if you're over on TikTok, X. I'm pretty much everywhere. Blue Sky, Facebook. Trump supporters. Chat is rage baiting me. If you guys do want to support monetarily, Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App as well. Just don't get your hopes to change your mind. I've actually changed a couple minds. There's this one guest that it literally was able to change. Best guest I've ever interacted with. I'm not gonna lie. How's it
Hello,
going? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Why do you support Trump?
I support Trump on many things. I support him because of the immigration laws, like borders, and okay. And I do support ICE. I do support banning abortion, and then I also do. I support everything he's doing. I think he's doing a good job. I can't say much about the Twitter post though. It's a little like
Which Twitter
not
post?
that very good.
Which Twitter post? He's made a lot.
The one about like I don't know if that's real or not because I've been seeing it like online, but I don't have Twitter. But it's like he kind of used ChatGPT, I think, to make him like what like it was like a Jesus portrait and he put himself in it. But I don't know if that's real or not. If it is, I'm like, that's not something I really like. But everything else, I think he's doing great on.
Yeah, I deleted the photo, but yes, that is real. He put it on his True Social post and then deleted it. You mentioned ICE. You mentioned immigration.
Yeah.
You mentioned abortion. Okay. What do you want to talk about first? I mean, ICE and immigration go hand in hand, but do you want to talk about more about the border, or do you want to talk external or internal?
So we can talk about both actually, but you can choose first.
Yeah. What immigration policy of Trump's do you support?
I support the borders and I do support ICE, like getting all the illegals out, because I do believe the illegal immigrants that came here, they had a long time. They had the Biden administration to get their legal rights to stay here, and I do believe it's their fault. They're in this situation, and it's their fault that they're being separated from their families.
No, I think it's the government's fault. I guess I could take this two ways. First off, I'll just clear up the confusion here because you're saying it's the immigrants' fault. No, it's not. It's the government's fault. We have bad policy, right? The legal system takes too long and it's too expensive, which incentivizes people to come in undocumented, right? That's going to be cheaper and quicker to come into the country via undocumented means. So to incentivize legal migration compared to illegal migration, we would want to fix the core issue. Biden and Harris tried to do this via the bipartisan border bill. Donald Trump has not tried to address the core issue, instead tried to address it via mass deportation, which brings into the next topic. So you can address what I just said about the core issue of undocumented entry and how it's not the fault of immigrants and it's the fault of our government. And then the next question would be, what is one benefit of mass deporting undocumented immigrants to the average American?
Okay, so I believe when you say that it's hard to come into a country legally, shouldn't that be a good thing? Like, we don't want everyone coming into our country, and also like in every other country it's hard to get in, so I don't understand that. I don't think it should be easy for anyone to just come into our country. Like, yes, it's going to be hard because you have not lived here. So to me, it kind of confuses me when people say that. I get people are trying to come to America for a better life, but at the same token, we are Americans and we come first. And if you want to become American,
mass deportation is like an America Last policy.
No, it's not.
So what's one benefit of mass deportation?
Wait, sorry?
What's one benefit of mass deportation?
You say that again?
What is one benefit to the average American? What is one material benefit to the average American if we do mass deportation?
Less sex trafficking? less.
Undocumented
Oh.
immigrants commit 2.5 times less crime than the average U.S.-born citizen. That's according to PNAS and FBI data reports.
That's wrong. They're all illegal immigrants. That's wrong. Your fact check is
violent or
wrong.
bad crimes. Violent or bad crimes.
That's your statistics are wrong.
That's PNAS. They've been tracking crime data for decades and decades and decades. And FBI data reports also indicate this.
Okay. Well, that's not true. Like again, we would have less, and plus we wouldn't have as much fentanyl on drug.
You can't say that. Do you have another account you want to come on? Because you
Oh,
cannot say that. You can't say any DREGS. If you have another account, feel free to come back on the stream on your other account. Love to do the debate. I think you're open-minded. But you can't say any DREGS, TikTok terms of service. How's it going? Do you support Trump?
Huh?
Do you support Trump?
Brand new Lamborghini, fuck a cop car. Got that pistol on my head like I'm a cop.
4 out of 10, max. 4 out of 10. You're getting their job for nothing. You can't say the F drug. Can't say any DREGS. So Esther, I think that was your name. If you have Emmer, sorry, if you have another account, feel free to join up in like a backup account. How's it going? Do you support Trump?
Yep.
How old are you?
26.
Why do you support Trump?
I like deportations.
What is one material benefit to the average Americans of mass deportation?
Raises wages.
How?
Less cheap competition.
Okay. My argument would be mass amnesty also would raise wages. If we make them U.S. citizens, they wouldn't be getting exploited either. So both of these raise wages, and there's more negative effects coming from mass deportation, right? So overall, mass amnesty is preferable to mass deportation because both of them raise wages.
The one raises one much more, though.
That's not true. There's
It
more
is
harm.
true.
Okay, what's another benefit of mass deportation that we don't see in mass amnesty?
Raising wages is probably the best
We
one.
see that in mass amnesty.
You don't.
Yes, we do, because once we have them become U.S. citizens, they can't get exploited, or typically they don't get exploited. I'm not saying that they American citizens don't, but they don't get exploited as much, which would raise wages, right? Because they're earning more because they're U.S. citizens. And they
You
don't
see
get- they
this
don't get
in
paid as much.
software development, too, right? We have legal H-1B visas that come over. Those lower wages overall, even though it's legal labor.
Okay, what's your study for that?
You can look it up if you want.
Yeah, what's the title of the study?
Oh my god, I hate this stuff. Why do you think we bring in H-1Bs?
Let's pivot for my question. Feel free to provide your study.
We bring them in because it's cheaper labor and it lowers the
Feel
overall
free to
wages.
provide your study.
Okay, look it up. I don't care.
Yeah, what do you want me to look up?
Look up how deportations raised construction wages.
Deportation rate? What? That's not a study saying that H-1B visas lower wages on. That's not, you said that H-1B
Then look
visas
up
lower wages
H-1Bs lowering
terms of
overall
software.
wages.
in terms of software
my
software
God.
sector. Also, I'm not going to do your homework for you. If you want to provide me a source in a study,
You
and a
can
title,
listen, do it. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, but you made a claim, and I'd like a source for that. I mean, I typically provide sources for my claims.
I'm just sitting here, dude, on my phone. So if you want like an in-depth study, go and look it up. I don't care.
So you're saying you don't have a statistic?
Not out my ass, no. I'm
So
not
then
on
you're
my
just saying
computer like
you're
you.
just. So then you're just talking out of your ass.
Can you
I
show
mean,
me where amnesty fucking raises wages the same amount as deportations?
Yeah, I just explained to you how.
No, show me the study.
Yeah, if we make them U.S. citizens, they're going to because this is a hypothetical. I'm not saying that this is happening.
Oh, this isn't a study? Oh, okay, so whatever.
I'm talking about if we do something, this will happen. That's what I'm saying, right? And I'm using common sense. What you said is this is already happening because of this. Okay, those are two.
I'm using
different
common
things.
sense too, dude.
No, but you made it's not a hypothetical. You said lower wages are happening because H-1B visas are coming in terms of the software engineering sector, right? That is a claim, right?
Yeah.
My hypothetical is saying if we do mass amnesty, they are going to not lower wages because they will be U.S. citizens and they won't get exploited to the extent that they already do, being undocumented immigrants. So there's a difference between actual statistics and a hypothetical.
And I'm saying hypothetically, legal immigration also lowers wages.
Legal immigration lowers wages. How so?
Yes, like because it increases the labor supply.
Okay, you're not telling me how it lowers wages.
Supply and demand. If there's more workers in a certain sector, their wages will be lower because the labor is more plentiful. Do you follow that one?
Yes, but again, you're only looking at it based on one aspect of supply and demand. But
That's why they're being brought over. Why do you think they're being brought over?
why do I think H-1B visas are being brought over?
Any type of immigration. Why do you think immigration is even allowed? Especially in sectors like agriculture.
That's a broad question. Why is immigration
Agriculture. Why do you think we even allow illegal immigration to happen in agricultural sector?
So is it legal migration or illegal migration?
It's both. Half
Which
of all
one do you wanna talk
agricultural
about?
workers are illegal.
Okay, so if you're saying why do people hire like undocumented immigrants, that's going to
Yeah.
be because they're typically more they get exploited more compared to the average compared to the
Exploited
average
how?
by getting paid less or under the table.
No shit. How about that?
I never
Right.
disagreed with you there. Why are you arguing something I
Why do you
disagree
think
with?
legal migration happens?
For
Like
lots of-
H2
lots of
visas.
different-
Like
lots of
H2
different-
visas.
It's not just H-1B visas. It's not just.
I said H2.
Yeah, it's not just
H2
it's
visas.
not just any type of visa in specific. It's going to be
Oh
green
my
card
gosh.
holders, citizens, residencies. Migration happens for lots of different reasons. That's a very broad
Yeah,
question.
the main one is to pay workers less because they don't want to pay more.
Yeah, what's your source for that?
Why do you think it happens?
Like, why does migration happens for lots of different reasons.
The
You're
main
making a claim-
reason is that you're able to pay more people less money.
Okay, so provide your source that the main reason for migration, or the reason why we allow legal migration, is to pay people less money.
Why do you think it happens?
Again, don't care about opinions. I cared about facts.
No, tell me what the fact is then.
I made the claim that there's a lot of reasons for migration, not one specific.
Can you
reason.
name a couple, maybe?
You're the one who named one, and no, I can't name a
Yeah.
couple because I'm not gonna.
If
I'm
I
not gonna
named
be talking-
one, how about you name one?
I'm not going to be talking out of my ass on something that I don't know in specific, right? Like you, right? You made a claim that's about something, right? I don't know the main reason why migration happens, but there's a bunch of different reasons why it happens. Did not mean to click on that one. Make sure you guys follow that account. I was
Hey,
going
I'm
back.
really sorry about earlier. Like, I need to watch my mouth on TikTok Live. I just really apologize. I'm gonna watch my mouth this time.
You're good. So, what were we were talking about the actual benefit of mass deportation to the average American.
Yes. So I want to say that. I also want to bring up they're all criminals when they come in anyway. So either way, we will be deporting all criminals because they came here illegally. And once you cross that border, you're illegally. When you cross the border illegally, you're already a criminal in the U.S.
I think we should only care about violent or bad crimes. I don't think we should care about misdemeanors that don't have a negative impact on society. In fact, have a positive impact on society. And then I think again, we should fix the law, right? If a law is harming the average American, we should fix it. And again, the whole law and order thing, you supporting Trump is just contradictory to the whole law and order point. But I guess the question is, what is one benefit of mass deportation?
One benefit to keep our American people safe. And I do have one question. If I was gonna ask if you're gonna ask me another question, but I do have a question for you.
Yeah, you can ask me a question. You said to keep the American people safe. Mass deportation is actually going to increase crime rates. This is because, according to American Immigration Council, we're going to lose $1.1 to $1.7 trillion into our GDP, hundreds of billion dollars into taxes, and the GDP rate would go as low as 2008 recession. That is what the American Council says. So when we have a worse off economy, we're going to see more poverty, right? And with more poverty, typically comes more crime, higher crime rates, right? So if A equals B and B equals C, A equals C. So mass deportation equals more crime.
How is that so when we're taking all the criminals out of our country?
Because again, mass deportation. So if A equals B and B equals C, that means
Yes.
A equals C, right?
Yes.
So A would be mass deportation, increases crime rate, and I was able to prove this because according to the American Immigration Council, it worsens the economy by removing 1.1 to 1.7 trillion dollars, decreasing the GDP rate as close to the 2008 recession, right? So A equals B, and then a worse off economy, I guess poverty increases crime rate. So B equals C. That
I
means
guess
A equals
my
C.
question is, how is the mass deportation, like you were saying, how does that cause, like, I understand the numbers and statistics you're giving me, but the only thing that I don't understand is, like, how, like, you say, how do I explain this in a good way? Because I'm trying to explain how you would understand too. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. So when you say mass deportation causes all this and this and this, I guess my question is, I don't know if this is going to make sense at all, but I'm going to try to phrase it as best as I can. But my question is, how is mass deportation causing all these numbers? There has to be like one thing that I'm missing here
Yeah, so
to cause
sure.
all that.
Right, I get your question. Gavin, can you get some fucking W's in the chat for Gavin? There you go, is back. Yeah, the reason why these numbers happen, for example, for every 500,000 immigrants removed, 44,000 US-born workers would lose their jobs. That's according to the American Immigration Council. I'll use one in specific. So it's supply and demand, and it's going to be how the companies operate. So whenever mass deportation happens, there's no incentive for these companies to actually hire American workers. There's actually more of an incentive to downsize their company and actually fire American workers, because again, the demand for a certain good is lower, right? So there's more of an incentive to downsize the company, which will decrease the amount of jobs available. And then for the GDP rate, or I guess for the GDP revenue, again, it's just what the undocumented immigrants contribute, right? This is according to the IRS. They contribute $100 billion in taxes every year. In terms of state, federal, and local taxes, they contribute $20 billion in Social Security and $6 billion in Medicaid. So whenever you remove those hundreds of billions of dollars that they're contributing, right, they're gone, right? And that's revenue that is out of the economy, right? And then same with the $1.7 trillion, that is revenue that they contribute into our GDP. When we remove those people, we also remove the revenue that they are contributing, which would make the GDP worse.
So how do we know they're contributing to all this? Because last time I checked, illegal immigrants, they don't have, like you said, a social security number. So how do we really know that they're paying for all this?
Yeah, they have ITINs. It's basically where undocumented immigrants get an ITIN number, and you get it's like for taxes, and you don't get any like actual benefits out of this. It's just to report taxes. Legally, they have to. And then you also have local taxes. You have sales tax, right? You have all these different like local taxes that everyone pays. Like when you go to the grocery store, that's sales tax, etc. But the main revenue is going to be ITIN numbers, which is legal, and undocumented immigrants use that to pay taxes. Not all of them do. A very few amount do, but that just shows how many. With the low amount of undocumented immigrants that contribute, they contribute a lot. So there's that.
So could you give me like a number statistically how many supposedly illegal immigrants? Because I don't get why. Because you have to sign paperwork and everything. So I don't get why you would kind of like out yourself that you're illegal and filling paperwork out. Because you're just asking to get deported. I don't think that's very safe to do if you're illegal here. Because that just wouldn't make any sense.
Right. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I can't give you an actual statistics on how many. What I can agree with you there is going to be low. Some states have expanded who is eligible for state level tax credits to include people with ITINs. Let's see. So the reason why there's the ITIN number exists, it's because A, it's legal, and it's not really outing yourself. Because again, there's legal processes that undocumented immigrants can go through, and the ITIN number is one, mainly because again, the United States government wants revenue. So if they're here working, they want the revenue from your taxes, even if you're here undocumented, even if that means taxation without representation. So that's one main reason why. But we've obviously seen a shift in that with even like people who are trying to go like the legal route, they're getting detained. But that's I guess be my answer to your question.
Okay, I feel like, but the only thing is I'm confused on is like, if a lot of immigrants that are illegal, I'm not trying to speak for all of them, but I'm trying to think if I were in that situation, I'd be scared to talk to anyone to get into any. That's why, like,
That's why we should make them citizens. That's why such a low amount actually pay taxes. That's why such a low amount of undocumented immigrants report crime, because of the fact that they're scared that they could be deported. So if we make them, go ahead.
I would have to. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna follow up with a question. I disagree with that. I don't think we should make them all citizens. And my question for you is, as America, why are we obligated to take all these immigrants into our country?
I think we are obligated to do what's best to for our country, and if the options here are going to be mass deportation, the mass amnesty for the people that are already here in our country, the policy that benefits most is going to be mass amnesty, and we have the government has an obligation to benefit the average Americans and work for the average Americans. So if we're doing mass amnesty versus mass deportation, they have an obligation to do mass amnesty because it's the one that benefits American most, compared to mass deportation, which has negative outcomes.
What? Okay. Another okay. I'm so confused because like we're circling back to like the same thing, and I'm here to learn, so I'm trying my best to hear you out. But when you say that we have the obligation, and you say it's right for a country, I disagree that letting illegal citizens in our country it's not best for our country at all. In fact, it's more dangerous. Like, as you said, what are the downfalls of, what is it called? The upsides of having mass deportation? Less, can I say this word? Like, attacks. Like, I don't know if I can say, I don't know if I can say that word on here. But the T attacks. Okay. Less T attacks. There we go. And, less, what I've been saying, and a lot less. There's people, a lot of people don't think we do, but we do have some like illegal immigrants actually. They get stuck in, sadly, which I think is really sad, that we have slavery in America, which we don't know about, and it's mostly illegal immigrants, and because people are taking advantage of these other people. And it's really sad, and we wouldn't have that if we just had a border and had a harsher, I want to say harsher, I like the immigration laws we have now, and I don't think it should be easy to get into any country.
Again, with the crime rates, I addressed this with the statistics that PNAS and the FBI data reports show that they're multiple times less likely to commit a violent crime. And then I showed you how mass deportation would increase crime with the A equals B and B equals C, so A equals C example that I provided yourself, that I provided you. And then mass deportation actually decreases crime rates. Because when they're here undocumented, they don't have an incentive to report crime, because they could get deported if they get in contact with authority, right? They fear that. So when they're here legally, they don't have to worry about getting deported, right? And then also because they're multiple times less likely to commit any sort of violent crime or bad crime. So when they are in a certain community and they are multiple times less likely to commit a violent crime or bad crime, they automatically lower the crime rates.
So my question is, why do you think when a person comes here illegally, which is a crime, why do you think they're less likely so what you're saying is, which I don't understand, is when a person comes here illegally, they cause a crime, they make a crime, right? They're automatically a criminal. What's stopping them from committing another crime?
Fear of deportation.
That hasn't stopped a lot of illegal immigrants, though.
The reason why they committed those crimes were not because they were illegal immigrants, but because they were bad people. And again, that doesn't, just because a group of individuals does bad things doesn't mean that the whole group does bad things. I mean, tourism, tourists commit crimes. Does that mean we should ban tourism? Absolutely not. We would lose billions of dollars that go into our economy, hundreds of billions of dollars. We should not ban tourism just because a select few of tourists commit crimes, right? And I think that arguing this point of law and order while you support Donald Trump is kind of ironic.
What do you mean by that? Explain that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 34 count felon. I could go down the whole talking point of him being an adjudicated rapist, violating the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 10th Amendment, 14th Amendment, and the 22nd Amendment, violating gag orders, violating international law, violating 4 federal laws to protect pedophiles, so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, not renting to black people in the early 1990s. He's violated so many laws. So, I mean, saying that you care about law and order when it comes to undocumented immigrants, but not when it comes to the most powerful man on earth is kind of ironic.
It's not, because none of that's true. Because if you actually do research and look at his debates and I'm not debates, but just see how he talks and see what on the news and everything. It's even on the news. And
it is on the news. You can go to Fox and search up Donald Trump convicted on 34 counts. He's a convicted felon.
We're gonna talk about Trump, but let's talk about the Democrats who sat down for all the Americans when he was talking about the lives of Americans, and they sat down. Why would you sit down for that? Even protesting, those are lives of Americans. So either way, either way, Trump didn't do anything. There's no proof against him at all. But
he admitted to sexually exploiting naked women and children.
When was that? I want to know the document. I want to know.
2005 Howard Stern show.
Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard of the clip?
Yes, but I'm sorry, but it's not true. I need records. I need court.
Hold on. This is a record because he admitted to it. You can hear him admitting to it.
The 34 counts.
The 34 counts. Hold on. Okay, here, can you go on to another question? I want to go back to that, but for now, I just want to talk about back to immigration.
Would you let a legal immigrant legally immigrate into our country if they were held liable for sexual abuse?
No.
Okay, so why do you have a higher standard for legal migration compared to the President of the United States? Donald Trump was held liable for sexual abuse.
No, he wasn't.
Eugene Carroll case, Trump v. Carroll. He was held liable for forcibly penetrating Eugene Carroll's vaginas with his fingers.
That's a civil suit.
Whoever whispered that in the back, I guess that's not a really good point to argue, because I mean, you said that you wouldn't allow
the guy that's in the back is her father, and I'm telling you that was a civil suit. Do you know the difference between civil and criminal?
Yeah, criminal court is going to be beyond a reasonable doubt, and then civil court is going to be a preponderance of evidence.
Exactly. And when you have a civil suit, anyone can file that. In fact, someone can file a suit for you for any reason at all. You know that, right?
But now what we have to prove in this civil court is that there is reasonable doubt. We have to prove that there is reasonable doubt.
That's exactly right.
Because remember
there's no proof.
Court, but there's
no proof. There wasn't any proof.
They used the Hollywood Access tapes. They used her testimony, her friend's testimony, therapist.
Friends' testimonies mean nothing. Testimony, it means nothing. That's just one person accusing you. And when you have a corrupt political system that's set up against you, which has been against President Trump, including the 34 counts that you were talking about. So I'm a realtor, and I've been practicing real estate for 27 years. You know, he was charged on just practicing real estate?
No,
from New York.
It was 34 counts falsifying business records.
You're right. And do you know what those were based on? Real estate. And it's something that every developer, in fact, every buyer and seller, anyone who sells a house did exactly what he did, which is a standard practice.
Then it would be a misdemeanor.
So it was just a corrupt government system in New York going after him. That's all that was.
So falsifying business records is a misdemeanor. But
it wasn't falsifying. This is what he did. I'll explain it to you. He stated that Mar-a-Lago was worth, I don't know, however hundreds of millions of dollars. It'd be like the same as someone saying my house is worth 300,000. Then what happened was the appraiser came in, validated the value, and he got a loan on it. And guess what? On those counts that he was charged for, he paid back those loans. And the lenders that had loaned him the money said he was a good guy. So there was actually no victim. It was a total New York political ram job that we shouldn't be doing in our country. And that's a fact.
That's not a fact.
It is a fact.
Subjective.
No, it's not subjective. It's a fact.
I can just quickly debunk this. I mean, the 34
You can't
counts.
debunk it.
The 34 counts.
Do you know how real estate works? Do you know how that works? You don't know. And if you knew that, then you could understand how it would be debunked. You'd have to come from a place of knowledge, and you're not coming from that place. I am.
So what you just stated here is literally like he did misrepresent the numbers, and again that would be a misdemeanor.
But let me explain something to you. Let me explain something. If you're going to misrepresent numbers, that's what you're saying, right? You're saying that he misrepresented the value of the property, right?
Yes, he falsified the business. He's falsified the business records. Yes.
Okay, you said he falsified the value of the property because that's what the original claim was. Am I correct in saying that?
Maybe there was a misunderstanding, but he was charged on 34 counts of falsifying business records, which was actually money that he sent to his lawyer, which was then sent to Stormy Daniels, which was then misclassified, which was actually misclassified.
And Stormy Daniels, actually, what they did there was also they weren't allowed to do it. I have to go back and look at why they weren't supposed to do it, but they did do that. And you're right, they got him on that, but they weren't supposed to because Stormy Daniels was legally paid through the court system and was supposed to keep their mouth shut. Right?
But the predicate crime was election interference, and then the first crime was the
no, it was an election interference. No, there was no election interference. No.
Oh, hold on. You're telling me if this didn't come out that he had an affair with Stormy Daniels, that this wouldn't have changed the outcome of the election? If it was prior to the election, this wouldn't.
Well,
have
do you think that if Biden's son's laptop would have come out, that would have happened?
If Biden's son's laptop would have come out?
Yeah. The laptop that they wanted to keep hidden, and they just threw that under the bus when Biden was running, and that's on his laptop. He had images he shouldn't have. He had drugs that he was doing and certain things he was doing.
DRUGS, but I mean, I disagree with like what Hunter Biden did. I don't know what relevance that has with Trump.
Well, it has a lot of relevance on Stormy Daniels because that was handled already. That wasn't supposed to come out because it was handled appropriately before.
So two can be true at the same time. Both would have changed the outcome of the election, but there was no actual court that found that Biden actually interfered with the outcome of the 2020 election. But there was a court that came out and said that the predicate crime with the falsified of the business records was election interference.
Actually, there was interference, and they're proving it now that there was fraud from Biden. But we can.
Who
that's
won the
a totally
2020
conversation.
election?
Oh, Trump definitely did. Definitely did. The millions of numbers that come up don't even add up to all the voters that had actually voted. So those numbers are real, and you can look that up yourself. If you are really a person that wants to know the facts, and you're not one-sided, because you sound like you are. If you weren't one-sided, look at the numbers and look at how many votes were actually cast and how many votes came out. Those numbers don't match, and those numbers and the weeks it took to come up with all the votes. Number one, shouldn't have happened. We should have known who our president was that night. It took 2 weeks after.
You know that they went through 66 different courts. 33 of them were actually Republicans, and then half of those were actually Trump-appointed judges, and none of them found credible evidence for actual election interference in 2020.
Yeah, because they were all Democrat judges too. If you see what's happening today, they're already proving Republicans. They're already proving right now that those numbers are true, and also it was the state of, was it Michigan? It's one of these states that actually had apologized and had stated yes that they had too many votes, and that they actually were they had invalid votes. So it's already proven that 2020 was a stolen election.
That's not proven. What?
And it was proven. You realize it's like you're talking and you're saying things are proven that aren't true.
Well, I mean, I provided my sources. You realize if it was proven,
you interrupted me.
if it was proven, you do realize that Donald Trump right now would have canceled all elections and would have suspended the Constitution.
He's not going to. No, he's not going to do that. You guys got to stop with that.
He already called for the termination of the Constitution.
If he tried to do that, he would have done it. He didn't do anything that wasn't illegal.
I have a question. Would you support Trump if he sexually exploited children or women?
No, and he never has.
Cool. Can I play you a clip?
Sure, play me a clip. Clips don't mean much unless you have the whole full context. Do you even know what they were talking about? Did he mute me? You got to turn me up.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the country.
I would say I'm the all-time judge.
You're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you. Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything. Right.
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with the vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that.
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like
women.
Yeah, so that's him admitting to sexually exploiting women and children.
No, he didn't say children, and he wasn't exploiting
Maria
women.
Delgado.
No, you're missing the point.
As young as 15 and 16 years.
No, you're missing the point. And you don't know the ages, and they weren't 15 and 16. That's unfair. So you took a clip of something that he's talking about, which was a general comment that he was talking about.
Which was sexual exploitation.
No, it's not. How is it? Explain to me how it's exploitation.
Sure. Sexual exploitation is going to be the abuse of power, the abuse of position of power or trust or vulnerability for sexual gratification.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And explain how he's saying that he's doing that specifically.
Perfect. So he said that he's the owner of the
I listened to the conversation. Now I'm a grown adult. I'm going to let you know that. So I know what is and what is not. So explain it to me. He said specifically.
Well, do you agree with my definition, which would be sexual exploitation means any actual or attempted abuse of position of power, vulnerability, or trust.
Okay. So let's put it this way. This is how it would be. I'll give you an example. I am a boss and I have a secretary and I go, hey, you're going to do this if you want to keep your job. That is exploitation and using power. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if he goes through a room and women go, "Ooh, you're so wonderful and handsome, and I like you because you're Trump," that's not exploitation of power.
Again,
that is just women clamoring to him.
Well, let's first. Do we agree on the definition of sexual exploitation? It's abuse.
I don't know if we do. I mean, the definition I do, but the way you're looking at it and the way I look at it are going to. I'm going to look at it from a grown-up perspective.
I'll explain how I look at it. Yeah, I'll explain how to look at it in my perspective. But
I gave you an example, but go ahead.
And I agree with your example, but do we agree with the definition that it's any actual attempted abuse of position of power for sexual gratification?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll just prove it was abuse of position of power for sexual gratification. He said that he was the owner, therefore he would inspect it, right? So this implies that he was doing his job as the owner, which was inspecting the dressing rooms. This is then contradictory to the fact he said he sometimes gets away with it. Why would he be getting away with doing his job? A and B, it was a woman's only space where no men are around. So it is colloquially understood that there is no consent for men to go into women's only space. How do we know it was a woman's only space? He said there was no men around. They were naked and getting dressed, which would imply that it was a woman's only dressing room. He then said that he looks at them and that they were beautiful. And again, he sometimes gets away with things like that. But the main part that I want to hone in is that the contradiction there. He said that it was an inspection. It was his job. That's contradictory to what he said that he sometimes gets away with that.
Yeah, I can't argue that point. I mean, if he did go in there and the women were naked and he's doing this, I would agree with you. But at the same token, if he were actually doing something wrong, he legally probably would have been criminally charged at some point in time right away. I've got a feeling that there was just some bolstering there. is what I'm thinking is what happened there. But I do believe that
not
he was
only
around
did he
women.
admit it,
So
not only did he admit it, but so did the victims. of his team
there's
were
a
saying
difference
Miss USA.
between it. There's a difference between admitting and bolstering, because you want to be a big shot and you're having fun with that person that on that radio show, which I'm not a fan of. But
typically you only say things to like make yourself look better, right? Sexual exploitation doesn't make anyone look better. And Howard Stern clarified that.
What
Howard Stern
I know
clarified.
you're from a different generation. I know that, but I don't think you guys are going to be much different. Men are men, and they talk a certain way around other men. So
Again, that's taken away from the seriousness. Saying that men are men takes it away. Saying that
no,
that's
I'm
just
not
how
saying men
gonna
are.
act.
What I'm saying is the way men talk is the way men talk. I'm not talking about the seriousness of exploiting people,
Which
because
is
I'm
what
against
Trump
that.
did, and you agreed to that, no?
No, I don't agree that he's exploited.
You can agree
because I
you can
don't. I
agree-
wasn't there.
You can agree that that's at least what he said, right?
It leads that way. Yes, it doesn't look good for him. But I also understand how men talk.
Okay, but what about when a man?
So let me
What about when a man
explain something
says?
to you.
What about when
if you're walking around with your homies, just you and your guys, right? And you want to look good, and there's some girls that you want to say you're going to over exaggerate a situation probably with some girls, and that's what it sounds like to me from him, an over exaggeration.
I wouldn't I wouldn't ever I wouldn't ever exaggerate, or I wouldn't actually admit to like sexually exploiting anyone when I hadn't done that. No.
What is he saying? Wait, I have a question.
Well,
Can I check
listen,
in?
I'm not gonna go any further than that, because this isn't a personal attack
question.
on you.
I have a question.
But go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, like you said, like they were in a room, right? And like exploitation is when you, like what my dad's example was like, oh, I'm your boss. You have to do this if you want this. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is a form of sexual.
She makes a good point. Go ahead.
So my question is, like, in that situation he was in, right? He was just talking about it. He never asked a girl to do a certain thing. And in my opinion, either way was wrong. Maybe he shouldn't have, like, in a girl's perspective, I believe he was being very childish, and a lot of boys do that. But I'm not trying to, what's it called, say it's a good thing, because it's not. But he never exploited anyone. That's what I'm saying. Because
I'll just address one thing here. All boys do that. So not all boys do that.
No. Let's go back to this. No. I think this is what she's trying to say. Number one, they talk a big game, but number two, the biggest point is he went into a room with many people. Okay.
Only women. It was a woman's only space.
Well,
it was a woman's.
Obviously not. He was in there, so I wouldn't think the fact that
he was in there because he abused his position of power.
Okay.
To do a quote unquote inspection.
So let me ask you a question. If that was true and he exploited power with that many women around, none of them came up with the lawsuit. None of them decided to get the authorities involved. None of them wanted to go after him.
Wait, hold on. Why are we only going Trump? Why are we only attacking Trump? Shouldn't we also be attacking the radio guy too, since he was there with him?
Yeah, he thought it was fun.
Yeah, Howard Stern
Howard
Stern is a bad person, yes, but Howard Stern doesn't hold a position of power in terms of
he does.
Well, Donald Trump is the powerful person, the most powerful person in the world, though. Donald Trump is the
worse than
president of the
Trump.
United States.
He's worse than Trump.
Donald Trump is a president. Howard Stern is not.
Okay, so do you have that same expectation of Obama and the expectation of
Biden, Bill Clinton, yes.
Bill Clinton. So Bill Clinton exploiting his power, you're okay with that?
Bill Clinton sexually exploited.
So you're not upset. You're not calling for him not to be president.
He's not president.
I know, but you wouldn't be calling for him not to be president. You're not calling for him to lose his library. You're not calling for him to be called out.
I have called for him to be put in prison for the Epstein allegations against him. I've called
he's
multiple times
very much involved in Epstein. That guy.
I've called multiple times for Bill Clinton to be investigated and probably be put in prison.
The problem is President Trump is not in the same cases as these guys.
But my question is,
he's worse.
Hold on.
Explain how he's worse.
Wait, hold on. Wait, pause. I want to ask a question. Jeez. Okay, I'm sorry. He's got a little heated. But my question is I don't understand your point. I think the radio guy, I don't know this guy's name. But yes, that guy. I think he should also be responsible if he was there with Trump. And I do believe not like I believe celebrities have power. I believe congressmen, women have power. I believe mayors have power. I believe any political person has power. So what's the difference between Trump, quote unquote, having more power when other people do have power to be in those types of situations? That's why I'm not understanding.
So yeah, here's the difference between like Democrats and MAGA, and I'll explain. I'll address your last point and then the first point, and then your father had a question about how he's yours. But there's a difference between Democrats and MAGA. So you know who Eric Swalwell is, right? I'm sure you've heard about him.
Yeah.
So he was running for he was running for governor of California. He was like the top running person in the governor of California. He was also a member of Congress. The difference between Democrats and Republicans, or at least MAGA, is that as soon as there were credible allegations, 5 credible allegations of sexual assault and rape, every single Democrat called for him to drop out. Every single Democrat called for him to drop out of the race and called for him to resign his seat of Congress. A week later, he dropped out of the race. The next day, he resigned from Congress, and there was pending investigations going on to Eric Swalwell. The difference is we will leave credible accusations, and we don't let people in power who have credible accusations be in power, no matter if they have the highest office of power, which is the president, or a congressman, right? So that is the difference between Democrats and Republicans. And obviously, MAGA is contradictory because MAGA or Republicans called for Eric Swalwell to resign or to be expelled, but the president has credible allegations as well. We don't hold we hold our people accountable, right? We hold our people accountable. We don't want anyone who has any credible allegations against them. And to answer your first, Howard Stern was not with Donald Trump in the pageants, but I think he should be held accountable because I think he is a weird person. And then those are the 2 points.
But he was in the video. So shouldn't he, since isn't that proof, so shouldn't they both be convicted?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there should be investigation into Howard Stern. Yeah.
I'm just like a little confused because you say the last person.
And then we can just take a look at we can just take a look at, sorry for interrupting, but we can just take a look at his past record. He said he could grab women by the pussy without asking. He was held liable of like forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina, which we had a light conversation with your father about. Obviously some disagreements there, but at the end of the day, he was found guilty. He was found to be responsible to rape E. Jean Carroll. And then he said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. All the other talking points that is on like the mainstream. He said that like little boys who get raped by their teachers have no harm done to them. So we can just look at his record and like acknowledge that this is something that a P3D or a rapist would do.
I'm gonna have my dad answer these because I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not that educated in all this and I'm trying to learn. So I just want to say before I hand the phone over, I really appreciate you staying here and debating my dad because it's helping me learn a lot and learning how to debate. So I just want to give my gratitude to that, and I want to thank you for letting me stay and listen.
Of course. Well, but I appreciate you and your father for willing to debate as well.
Of course. Here's my dad, by the way. Perfect. So yeah.
So what are the actual criminal convictions that Trump has been prosecuted for when it comes to sexual crimes against children?
So it wasn't against children. There hasn't been any convictions, but we can take a look at credible allegations.
So then that's just going to get kicked to the curb.
Well, what I was referencing in terms of like the him being found guilty, he was found guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll.
No, he was charged in a civil suit for that. That wasn't. In fact, on the criminal side, they couldn't win, but they did get some money on the civil suit, which is easy to do.
He was still found guilty of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina without her consent.
I don't think that that's true, and I think there's a lot of holes in that. There's a lot of civil suits that are lost that aren't true. If you can't prove it on the criminal side and you're able to prove it on a civil side, that's
she didn't attempt to pursue criminal charges because of the statute of limitations.
Well, there's a reason why there's a statute of limitations. Do you know why there's a statute of limitations?
I mean, I know what like a statute of limitations is, a specific reason. I'm assuming because like after a certain amount of evidence, it's going to be way more difficult to actually prove that the crime actually happened. But I think either way, I think that if they
hearsay, so they want off the hearsay is what they did. So
I think we shouldn't have statute of limitations because
we absolutely
if someone is able to prove a crime. Like if someone has video evidence, they still wouldn't be able to pursue criminal charges. If they have video evidence, if they have DNA evidence, they wouldn't be able to pursue criminal charges, right? That's why I think we should actually fix the statute of limitations to allow for
If
That
you
is
have
true.
if you have DNA and no, you can use that. You
Not
that
in a
will still
criminal
come
court.
around.
After the statute of limitations, even if you have
Do
video
you
evidence,
know when
you
the
can't pursue
statute of
criminal charges.
limitations begin? Do you know when they begin?
Do I
At
know
the
when
time
they
that
begin?
the crime is found, or that the crime has been at the time that the crime is found or could be proven. So if you have DNA, you're hooked. That's it. You're done. If you have video, you're done. So that's not
but
true.
You can't. But no. But once
if
the statute,
it's hearsay,
well, once
if
the
it's all
statute of
hearsay,
limitations are once the statute of limitations are actually over, you can actually pursue criminal charges. Doesn't matter the amount of evidence that you have.
If I come along and I say, hey, I was taken advantage of by this person 20 years ago, and they, okay, what's your proof? Oh, well, it just happened. I had a witness that said that. And they go like, okay, your limitations is gone. But if I came along and said, oh, well, I got this DNA and I hand them the DNA, no, they're going to prosecute.
Or video.
Yeah.
I mean,
video,
we
yeah,
can just
yeah.
take a look at the actual example in the case to actually just disprove that what actually
And
happened.
actually, it's state to
Donald
state.
Trump-
Actually, it's also
Donald
state to
Trump-
state.
Well,
So-
the thing is, I can actually disprove that with something that actually happened in the E. Jean Carroll case. E. Jean Carroll presented a dress with DNA, unidentified male DNA, and Donald Trump refused to give his DNA. And then once the actual period was over, he tried to give his DNA, but they wouldn't accept it because the time of the discovery period was actually over, because that is a legal amount of time. So even then,
I
he
didn't
literally
hear about
tried to give
dress and DNA. I don't know if that's true. I'd have to follow up and look at that.
No,
and I will.
well,
but I don't think that's true.
This is you can like search it up. So
Because it's the same thing with what happened to Cosby, which was really
well. The thing is here.
unfortunate for him.
The thing is here, the dress was not used as evidence because Donald Trump refused to give his DNA during the discovery period, which
Well-
then he tried to give his DNA after it ended, but the judge literally said, no, legally, I cannot accept it. So there are boundaries in terms of DNA, in terms
Wow.
of statute of limitations. There are, even in this
I don't
case, we
think
see
that's
it.
accurate. I don't think that's accurate.
Then why didn't they accept his
look
DNA
at it.
evidence?
I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm just saying I'm going to look at it. But I don't.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
learn
It's
from
so-
computer. I'll
you-
look into it.
You can look up. You can look up E. Jean Carroll dress. Donald Trump. Donald Trump is denied his DNA. His DNA, something like that. You can look something along those lines. And what you're going to find in multiple different credible articles here is that he refused to give his DNA during the discovery period. And then
Right.
once the discovery period was over, he tried to give his DNA, and the judge
Okay.
said, "No, the discovery
Right.
period is over. We cannot accept your DNA." So that dress that she had was out. Which also
let me
proves
ask
that
you a
not,
question.
that he's not that
So
innocent.
let me ask you a question. You don't think, okay, because let's say that there was a dress and there was DNA. Okay, how long ago was this?
20 roughly like 20 years when it was
So 20 years. She waits 20 years and makes this complaint and this accusation, right? Why 20 years?
She waited until her
The DNA came from at least 4 people.
right. It was
So
unidentified.
my
It was
question- this is my
unidentified male
question
DNA.
to you.
Right. But hold on,
Because you don't-
can I answer the first question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the question that you asked me was why did she wait 20 years? She
Yeah.
waited 20 years until her parents passed away, and then she wrote
Okay.
a book. So after her parents passed away, she wrote a book accusing
Right.
Donald Trump of rape. Donald Trump then
Okay.
called her a liar, which was
Right.
defamatory, and then E. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump for defamation. So if he would
let
have
me-
never called her a liar,
I've got another
he
question.
would have
for
never
you.
been sued.
I've
Go
got
ahead.
another question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, do you think that, and it doesn't have to be just a woman, but we'll just say specifically, a woman just making an accusation towards a man being raped, that's what it is.
You can't say that word on here.
I can't say that.
No, you gotta say like R.
What can I say? R?
Yeah, just say R.
You can say rapes. You can
Rapes?
say rape. They haven't banned me if you say rape. You can say rape. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just don't say like any DRUGS or anything that like self harm or like any actual like attacks, like personal attacks, because then you get banned. But
So,
yeah,
so
what was your question?
So my question is, do you believe that every woman that says that they are raped, that they've been raped? 100% of women do that?
I think we should believe victims. Yes.
That's too bad. Because
You think
you're coming from a very, I hate to say this, you're coming from a different perspective of youth, let's put it that way. And as you get older, you'll find that yeah, that's just not
I think
accurate.
I'm actually coming from statistics, and my
No,
statistics.
stats don't mean much in situations like that, because do you think that women are capable of lying?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think they're capable of lying about rape?
Do I? Sure. I mean, there's no
Okay.
logical. There's no logical contradiction.
So
within
there's no proof that this person or what's her name was actually raped by Trump. If say they did have a time together, how do you know? How do we all know that it was or was not rape? Just because we
It's
didn't. We
more
don't,
likely
yeah, we
than
don't
not.
have his consent.
It was more likely than not to be rape. That's what the jury found. 51% or more. More likely than not. That's what the civil court found.
So how would you base that fact that it's more likely to be rape?
Because of the evidence presented within the case.
And what was that evidence that would show that it was actual rape?
It actually the jury determined to be sexual assault because at the time, rape was only included a male member and a female member, a forceful penetration with a male member or female member, which is absurd, right? But colloquially, it was considered rape, and it is.
So
considered rape.
what was the proof of force? We're talking 20 years later.
Well,
What's
we're
the
talking
proof?
about the evidence that was presented was actually the what's it called, the Hollywood Access tapes, where he said he could grab women by the pussy without asking. That is rape.
No, that's not. Nope, that's not proof of rape. That's just someone talking.
They used that, right? They used his what he said in the access tapes in this court. They also used the therapist's notes. They found that she did go through this.
So let me ask you another question, because let me ask you another question. Okay, do you think that there is, well, obviously there's a divide between political parties, right? And you don't think that people with the political side don't try to use whatever power that they have against another person just to make them look bad?
Sure. I mean, sure.
Okay.
Allegations.
Okay. Right.
I want to talk more broadly about the actual statistics of men and rape. Can we do that? Can I play you a video?
No, I don't want to go into men and rape, because the problem is, do you believe that women can rape?
Yes, women rape.
Okay, yes, they do. Okay.
Women commit less rape than men.
But see, you're going down a rabbit hole. The problem is,
if men got raped to a greater extent than women got raped, there would be in every corner in America, in every street in America, there would be a designated spot to help men, right?
So this is where
because of the fact that it's mostly women, there's not.
This is where we've lost ourselves in America. Okay, this is as a whole. We've lost ourselves in America because we were at a time where you had to be proven that you were guilty. Proven without a fact.
He was found guilty. Yes,
just hear me out. Hear what I'm saying. Okay? And we have come to a point where we just believe the victim without proving and saying that the accused person is automatically a bad person. That's where we've come. And it's infected our judicial system, and it's infected the way people think and what they do. So in other words, think about a person, let's just say a guy, it's one of my fears being a father. That's why I don't allow my daughters to have friends in my house, girlfriends in my house, without a female here. Do you know why? Because all it takes is one female to say that I did something, even if I didn't do it. And if they just made the accusation, my life is over. Whether I did something or I mean, obviously I wouldn't do it. But if they just made the accusation,
the thing is here, I'm not disagreeing with you. Are people capable? Are people capable of lying? Absolutely.
Okay, I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished yet. So that's just me being a father. Nobody knows me. Now imagine you elevate me to being president. What happens? So I think a lot of accusations are made that aren't true, and they actually have to be proven, and nothing's been proven beyond a doubt. In other words, they weren't able, all this stuff comes, and even what happened to Bill Cosby, which I totally disagree with. 40 years later, these women are coming out and saying this stuff, but it's the same thing for Trump. So
do you believe the credible accusations against Eric Swalwell?
Yeah, because it's on video and it was just recently happened. So yes, right away.
It didn't recently happen. It was 10 years ago. The actual essay and the rape happened 10 years ago.
Well, last time I saw it, it was, number one, they have it on video. Do you have something on video with Trump actually doing something?
Yes, his admission of guilt to sexually exploiting
No.
women and children.
That
is on a recording. Yes.
You have him just talking. Do you have him physically
you can't
doing
just label it that. You can't just label. You said you agreed with me that what he said, what he admitted to, or what he said was sexual exploitation.
I said it doesn't sound good. I said it doesn't sound good, but it also sounds to me like a guy bolstering, and I did tell you that. But do you have a video of him committing the crime and the act with a child or a woman? Do you have that?
No,
you don't, because
there's no
exactly.
videos. Video evidence isn't the only thing actually presented in like courts.
Well, it would have to be. Let me tell you something.
I have a question.
For me to be convinced, they would have to be a police officer. Hold on. There'd have to be a police officer or a victim where that day or a couple days after that they collected evidence, they showed that this person had been hurt and raped. They'd have to do it just like they would anybody else, right? Not just off of someone's words saying that this is what happened to me. Oh, and by the way, I have some DNA on her dress. That's just not.
So I have a question about that. So if he was innocent, why didn't he give his DNA to the court during the discovery period?
Answer this.
No.
Okay, say that again. I want to try to answer this.
If he was innocent, why did he not give his DNA to the court during the discovery period? That would have like cleared him. That would have gave him the jury not guilty. That would have been like labeled him as innocent, right? Because the DNA would not have matched the dress. So why didn't he do that?
Do you want to answer? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna try my best to answer that question, but then my dad's gonna answer it afterwards. But my answer to that is just a little background. I love crime. I love crime documentaries. I'm not just saying that. I want to get into the field one day. But saying that, a person when you're, I would say when you are a person of interest in a crime and you're not convicted or arrested yet, you're not obligated to give anything to and your attorney, like my dad says, your attorney is going to advise you not to. And the only problem I have with what you're saying is that yes, there might be video, and I'm not saying what you're saying is right. The video that you showed of him talking like that, it wasn't it wasn't like a confession. He did not say, I raped, the girl that you're talking about. He did not say that, so it wouldn't be a confession of anything. He's just saying that. Yes, it's disgusting in my opinion, but he said that, but he's not talking about. It wasn't a confession either way. And then I want to talk about the dress. There's no evidence.
Can I address the first point you said before we go on to the dress? So first off, the dress wasn't used as like a piece of evidence. I never claimed that it was. So just to clear that up before you actually. But the first thing that you said, no, it was obviously not obligated. We know that because he didn't provide his DNA to the court. But if your lawyer is advising you to not give your DNA, knowing that it's going to prove your innocence, right, and knowing that if you don't provide the DNA, you're going to be found guilty, and you're going to have to pay millions of dollars. Very, very stupid person, right?
That's not necessarily true because our court system works differently.
You do realize if he were to provide his DNA, he would have been found innocent if he did not commit the crime. You do realize that, right?
Yes, I do. But also when you put yourself in that position, you have to go through court. You have to, either way, he would be in a sticky situation. Innocent.
He would have been found not guilty. He would have been found innocent. He would have gotten his name cleared. That's the point.
No, that's not how it works, though. In the court,
I'm so sorry. If a victim is saying that she has a dress with unidentified male DNA of the day that she's accusing a certain individual of getting raped, and then that DNA does not match the individual's DNA, either A, that's getting thrown out, or he's being found not guilty. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it works.
I'm going to tell you the point that you're missing.
Okay.
This is the point that, and she's not going to understand this, and I understand it. Attorneys they have a typical way of handling court cases, and you and I don't know what they are. I've had to deal with attorneys a few times, and there are things that you may want to do because you think it's going to be the short way to deal with it, but they're like, no, it's not going to be that simple. So there's a lot more to dealing with attorneys and the law than you are aware of, and even more, and then what I'm aware of. But I promise you, the reason why he didn't give the DNA was not a personal choice, as it was an attorney's choice. So, the legal system, our legal system has become very complicated and flawed in many ways because of the way it's become, but
right.
It's made of attorneys.
Obviously
Yeah.
I know like the basics of the law. I wish there was this creator on TikTok, Law of the Wild, very, very good creator. He would be able to explain it like even better than I am. He's obviously like in law, or he like works in law.
Well, the problem with law is there's different law. There's corporate law,
right?
There's criminal law, there's civil law.
Right.
I mean, there's.
But you would get like a more better or like more worded conversation than what we have here. But so okay, I guess the one point that I brought up to your daughter earlier, I don't know if you listened, was that the fact that he said he would date a 10-year-old in 10 years.
He would date a 10-year-old in 10 years. So in other words,
you think that's okay to say though?
Well, she'd be 20.
That's not okay to say though.
All right, Max.
Well, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying that. I'm looking at it from a perspective of logic, though. Would it bother you if he just said, I would date a 20-year-old?
If he said he would date, it would bother me. Because he was a 50-year-old man. Legally,
if 20-year-old wants to date him, I mean,
legally they're allowed to, but it would bother me. But legally, no, there wouldn't be an issue if he said he would.
I look at 20-year-olds as kids myself, but
right.
But I'm asking you a question: would it bother you or the rest of the world if he said 20-year-old? Okay, so it was probably a sarcastic answer to someone calling him out and saying that he would trying to catch him in a trap. So
there was no trap. He literally said. Or he literally
no, I didn't say
to talk
trap.
to the.
I said he was probably being sarcastic.
Do you want to listen to the clip? Have you listened to the clip? Do you want to listen to it?
Yes, please.
You want to listen to it?
Yeah, I want to listen to it.
But it doesn't matter.
It's 15 seconds. It's 15 seconds.
Exactly.
Give me 1 second. There's an ad. Give me 1 second. Do not have YouTube Premium. There we go.
And I'm ready. In the wake of questions in our archive, which we provided to CBS News.
June, Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you go?
Okay, that sounds okay. Now hearing it, that sounds like I don't know. In my opinion, that just sounds like a joking manner. Like, yes, you should.
I'm sorry. Why would you sexualize a 10-year-old? Hold on. You as a father, would you be okay with a 60-year-old man? Would you be okay with a 60-year-old man telling your 5-year-old that he would be dating her? Well, I'll just use it in an example. Well, I'm moving the just to show.
Don't move the number because now you're making it look like he's a 15-year-old. It's not a 15.
No. I was gonna say no. A 5-year-old that he would be dating him. That he would be dating her in 15 years. Would you be okay with that?
He'd get punched in the face.
Okay.
He'd get punched in the face.
What if Donald Trump said he would be dating a 5-year-old in 15 years?
He'd get punched in the face.
No, not to your daughter, just in general. What if Donald Trump said he would be dating a 5-year-old in 15 years? Would you still support him?
Well, I wouldn't like what he said, but I like what his policies are, and I think they're better for America. So I'd have to support him.
That's sexualizing.
No, it's not.
A kindergartner saying that you would date a 5-year-old in 15 years. That is sexualizing.
See, no. What you're doing is if someone said that to me in front of my face, that person would get punched in the face, including President Trump. Okay,
because they're sexualizing your daughter, right?
Exactly.
Right. So then Donald Trump telling a 5-year-old that he would be dating her in 15 years is sexualizing that 5-year-old.
In 15 years.
No, not in 15.
Because you're looking at two different things. Like I said, one thing is I would punch him in the face. Number one, okay, that's just because that's my daughter. You're not going to talk about my daughter that way. Right. But at the same token, it is his arrogance. He is an arrogant man. So basically, in his mind, he's saying that he can get any 20-year-old out there. That's just him being arrogant. Now you're asking me, would I support him? Of course I'm going to support him. He's right for our country. He's taking care of our country. Our country is always better with him because of his policies and the things that we're doing. If you look underneath the Biden administration, we had well over 15% inflation.
That wasn't because of Biden. That wasn't because of Biden. That was because of a global pandemic that impacted all countries. In fact, we were the fastest G7 country to recover from inflation.
No.
We were the fastest G7 country, yes.
No. You're right. Yes. And it wasn't because of a virus. It's because of the policies that Biden put in place. Plus, on top of that, it was the policies that he reversed from President Trump's place, which crushed us on energy, which increased prices on everything. And it was his own policies. He reversed the pipeline.
That was the Supreme Court. Supreme Court ruled that there could be no more construction. That was the Supreme Court.
It was not Supreme Court. It was Biden.
The Supreme. We weren't actually.
He had a presidential. He did a presidential.
Yes, but the reason is because the Supreme Court previously.
So now you're going to give. Okay, hold on a second. So now you're going to give Biden all the okays to screw our country.
We weren't even using the XL pipeline. We were not using.
They were, and there's a reason why it was coming.
It was under construction.
And he also shut down all the drilling that President Trump had allowed to happen. He shut down all the leases. He didn't even want us drilling in our own country, this idiot. Okay?
There's actually more barrels per oil under Biden.
No, there was not. No, there was not. Now, that's not true. I know that because I followed him in everything he was doing. I was watching him reverse every single thing that Trump had done that was great for our country.
What is Trump done in second terms that's great for our country? If either you or your daughter want to answer, whoever wants to give me a policy that's
right now. I mean, if you think about it, what has he done? He's already had 9 peace treaties throughout the world. He's reversed Bidenomics, and he's reduced inflation immensely down.
But inflation is 3.4. Inflation is 3.4. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's great. 3.4.
Right, so he increased inflation. Also, that's not great. We typically want
no.
We typically want around 2% inflation.
Do you watch the inflation for the last 30 years? Have you watched the inflation in the last 30 years?
I mean, I've looked at inflation.
Okay,
rates.
look at the government. Look at the government
15.
stats, and you look at what happened from Bush through all the way to Trump, Biden, and then Trump again, and then you tell me.
Also, can I provide my source? Can I provide my source that we had more crude oil production under Biden than Trump?
And underneath that, let me ask you this question: has there ever been a year where we didn't have inflation?
We've had inflation, but hold on. Go back into the crude oil. According to factually, so it says.
No. Wait a second. We were talking about inflation. Did we ever have a year in our country where we did not have inflation?
We had inflation. No, I don't think so. No.
That's right. Every year we've had inflation forever.
We typically
That's all we've had inflation. We've always had inflation.
But we typically want like 2.0 inflation.
No, we don't.
Yes,
we want below 3. Usually,
we want around 2. We want around 2% inflation. What?
And who's been successful in getting the closest to the 2? Since we're going to use your numbers. Yes.
What do you mean? Depends. Let's see. Taking a look at it here. Let's see. He actually raised it to 3.3. So no, he hasn't been successful.
No, how about his first? No, I'd have to go back and look at the stats. But he's been the most successful at getting it closest to 2 than any other president. Look at what Biden did. And actually, the stats on Biden are pretty amazingly. I think they say it's only 10 or 11, where it's like
Obama
like 18.
Obama had it around 2 for like a long time, for many months.
No, he didn't. He had his guy. No, he didn't. That's I'd have to go back and look at that.
2014. 2014 in July. It was 2.0 exactly under Obama. 2.1 the month before. 2.1.
What year was that?
2.0. This was 2014. So in April of 2014. In April of 2014, it was 2.0. The next month, 2.1. The next month, 2.1. In July, it was 2.0. And then went down to 1.7, 1.7, 1.3, 0.8. And then it went to the zeros, negative 0.1. And then it's went back up.
Are you saying? No. Where did you get this stat from? What is the source?
Inflation calculator, U.S. inflation calculator.
I'm going to go back and take a look at that.
Can I ask him a question though? I have
ahead.
a few questions. I want to go back. I want to go back to when we were talking about the whole Trump is saying that he would date a 10-year-old. And
sure. Oh, before that, just for your father, real quick. So according to factually, and you can fact check me on this. So U.S. crude oil production was higher on average during the Biden presidency than Trump, and grew record levels despite Biden's climate change oriented policies. That's what it says. So you can fact check
those numbers are skewed. I'm going to look at those because there's no way he was shutting down leases, and our production was way down underneath him. Why do you think Biden had to get oil from our oil reserves in order to bring the gas prices down underneath
Russian-Ukraine war?
Exactly. That shouldn't have happened. If we were pumping out oil, hold on. If we were pumping out oil like that claim, then we wouldn't have had to do that. He shouldn't have been pulling out anything. I mean,
the claim that I made
is the reason why we have a reserve.
Right. Well, in the meantime, while your daughter asks the question, you can feel free to fact check this. U.S. crude oil production was higher on average during Biden than Trump, and grew to record levels. So you can fact check that claim.
Are you looking nationally, or are you looking internationally?
Nationally. Here in America.
I don't think that's accurate.
You can fact check me, but I heard your daughter had a question about going back to the topic we were talking about.
Oh, so I just wanted to ask about that and ask about because I know it's a really hard for me. It's a really hard debate or even a conversation to even talk about such thing, or even saying that, because also with the whole women lying about rape, it's really hard. And I believe, yes, women can lie about that, and yes, I believe there should be evidence, but it's also hard as a girl to believe that some terrible thing could happen, and there is evidence left behind. Now I think about it, especially today's technology, usually people like that don't get away with it, but I'm just saying stuff
people
like that really...
Hold on, men get away with according to Rain.org, 80 to 90% of rape.
Yeah, because our jujitsu, I can't even speak. Our court system is, in my opinion, not. So I believe we should have death penalties for those people, including pedos.
I disagree with death penalties. I think that's an easy way out. But I want to play you a video here to explain the numbers in general of rape and the numbers. Give me 1 second. This is actually an amazing creator. Explains the numbers well in terms of
Seems like an epidemic to me.
Give me 1 second. Here's this.
6. 38,000 pedantic, so I did the math. Based on the most recent population stats, the number of adult men in the United States is 132,809,050. 24.5% of which would mean 32,538,217, and another 51,795,529 who committed sexual assault, bringing the grand total to 84,333,746. Sure seems like an epidemic to me. Now, you know what's really interesting about this? Because these are self-reported numbers, these are underreported. Yeah. This study specifically tried to mitigate the underreporting by having the questionnaire answered on a computer so that the subjects wouldn't have to be facing a researcher or another human while they answered. And in fact, that's why the majority of this research that looks at self-reports of perpetrators actually largely focuses on comparative analysis, because the idea is that the underreporting will likely be pretty uniform across the different factors. So, for example, here's one study comparing the numbers between convicted offenders and what they called community men. Similarly, they found that among the community men, 59% reported they had committed at least one act of sexual assault, with 47% reporting perpetrating more than one, and 28% reporting perpetrating 5 or more. And in fact, we know for a fact that it's underreported in these studies because we have studies on that too. There's one recent one where they set up a bogus pipeline condition. This is where they make some of the subjects believe that their honesty is being measured. If they believe that the honesty of their responses is being monitored, they had 6.5 times greater odds of endorsing the use of illegal sexual assault strategies on a widely used measure. 6.5 times more likely if they thought you were going to catch them in the lie. And by the way, in this study, that means 37.9% admitted to using sexual assault tactics, including intoxication, incapacitation, threat, and force strategies. 37.9%. That's more than a third, in case you're still counting. In this other study, the first one I actually mentioned, where 1/3 of college-age men said that they would rape a woman if they could get away with it, that was actually measuring if the men would respond differently depending on how it was worded. In reality, only 14% said that they would rape a woman if they thought they could get away with it, but 32% said that they would force a woman to have intercourse. So, by definition, rape. And last but not least, we need to talk about the most recent study and the most anonymous to date. Because here's the thing, the numbers are not going down. The more successfully researchers figure out ways to encourage participants to actually be honest, whether it's through making them more anonymous or whatever, the more confirmation we get of how historically underreported this is. To the point where a study came out this month that showed that 95.1% of men surveyed had used at least one strategy listed to force a woman to have sex that they knew did not want to. And while, yes, the range of coercion begins at telling her everything that she wants to hear, lying, it only gets darker from there. 25% saying that on numerous occasions they got her away from everyone somewhere private and under
This video basically, and what this creator basically examines is all of the studies done about rape in men, basically acknowledging that all of this is underreported. So it's not that hard to believe that someone would do this or that people could get away with this. Again, according to RAINN.org, 90% of perpetrators do not get held accountable. There are millions of men that commit SA or rape, whether it's coercion, whether it's many of the examples that she provided, that don't get held accountable, right? And then like the whole thing is like people can lie, but it's at a way lesser extent. It's not as big as an issue as it is men not getting held accountable. That is the issue. Men not getting held accountable for the crimes that they commit.
I understand that, but even my argument on that is I need to know where she gets these numbers from. She was talking quite fast, so I wasn't able to write everything down to make it make quite enough sense.
Yeah,
but,
if you want to check out her video, it's gonna Perez Brenna. It was posted 5 days ago. She provides the actual studies on the screen. It's Perez Brenna, and she actually provided all the studies on the screen. If you want to look into it, but I'll just prove is that it's wildly underreported, right? We know that most victims don't even come out about rape or sexual assault because of social stigmatization.
And I was gonna say two things. My first thing is I do believe that I really wish in this generation of women and girls, because it's not I'm not saying it's the victim's fault, because it's never the victim's fault, but I'm just putting it out. I feel like that's for a different conversation, but I'm gonna say either way. I really wish that women nowadays had learned in school, which is probably not ever gonna happen in public school because public school just sucks. But I really wish that we learned either from school, because you can't always get it at home. I think we can all agree from that. We don't. But I really wish that women were stronger and knew we can speak up about these things. But besides that,
social stigmatization, when people speak out, you guys don't believe them.
That's not necessarily true. As long as you have evidence, you will again.
Even when there's evidence presented and they get held civilly liable, you guys don't believe them.
That's not necessarily true.
E. Jean Carroll.
No, she didn't have that. That was 20 years later, and also
it was 20 years. I already explained why it was 20 years later, but
because she didn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Because she didn't what? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was about to say, because 20 years later, I can also say that's not a very good argument, but still a lot of time has passed. But also because, yes, it's saying it's the same thing. Actually, I'm not even going to compare that, because to me, I hate comparing stuff like that. But I hate giving examples to these types of things because it just irks me. But I was just saying, there's no and there's no evidence of foul play.
Past character that leads us to believe that it's most likely than not that he did rape E. Jean Carroll. Yes.
But
Again,
there's
the
no
Hollywood
evidence
Access
of foul
tapes.
play. But what did he say in those tapes again?
Tell him thanks for the
He could grab women by the pussy without asking.
Oh, sorry, my dad just wanted to chip in. He said, thanks for the debate. And what did you say?
Hope he has a good night.
Hope you have a good night.
Perfect. If he ever wants to continue the debate, I mean, in terms of policy, in terms of what we were talking about, the oil production, no, we would love to have a conversation. But yeah, the point that I was trying to make is
that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the point that I was making here was I forgot the point that I was going to make. I'm going to let someone up, see if they what they have to say about this topic. If you want to hear a different perspective. What's up?
Yeah, sorry. Saying that people come out 20 years later and that's a reason to like doubt their story, that's really
I never said
that's
that.
a horrible perspective to come from, and that's a reason why people don't come out a lot of the time. You put these different reasons, you come up with different reasons in order to disqualify people. That's why people don't come out. There's always a reason why people choose to say that, oh, this isn't oh, she didn't get raped. Oh, she didn't get sexually assaulted. Oh, she didn't get abused. Oh, she didn't get this. Oh, this didn't happen to her. People say that all the time for any situation. Oh, no, he's not like that. Oh, he's not this. Oh, he's not that. Oh, he's not this. They say that all the time for any situation. People always come up with a thing. You bring up this, you bring up that, you bring up this. Why didn't he submit his evidence? Why not?
Because
why didn't he submit his evidence?
He's not obligated to. He wasn't in custody. He was not obligated to.
So if he submitted his evidence and he was not guilty, it shouldn't have came back so that would have equated him completely. He wouldn't have had to pay her. No one would accuse him of that.
You would have had to pay it either way. You would have to pay for.
He has to pay her. He has to pay her millions.
Not
of dollars
her.
now.
I'm talking about attorneys. So it would end up the same. Like
no,
it will circle back.
He has to pay attorneys and her now.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, it's a civil case.
Yes.
Which means he owes her money.
A civil case also means accusation. Civil accusations.
That's not what it means, buddy. It means
you want
no. It means you're liable for an action.
Yeah, that's
for damages.
accused.
You're liable for damages, which means you pay.
No, that's accused.
No.
Okay, give me a definition of a civil case then.
Do you want the
civil
definition?
case.
Do you want a definition for what a civil case is?
Yeah, search it up and tell me.
Like definition of civil case.
Yeah, civil case. Yeah, search it up and tell me what it is.
What I would just say here is we can agree that he was found guilty of sexual abuse. Right?
And how was that?
Yeah, because the jury found him guilty of sexual abuse, right?
But like, what evidence shows that?
Well, we can talk about the evidence again in a
Okay,
second, but
got it.
But hold on, give me 1 second. We can talk about the evidence in a second, but we can agree that the jury did, whether you disagree with it or not, we can agree that it is a fact that the jury found him guilty of sexual abuse.
How can you be found guilty and not end up in prison?
It's liable.
Colloquially, he was found guilty. Guilty is just being responsible for something, right? The jury found him to be responsible for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, which means the jury found him colloquially guilty of sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. Whether you disagree with the evidence, whether you dispute it, he was found guilty of sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. You can agree with that, right?
The reason he wasn't put in prison is because it was in a civil case, not a criminal. It was a civil case, not a criminal case. That's why you're like, oh, well, it's an accusation. No, it's not. It's just a civil case, not a criminal case. A criminal case would mean you are getting put in prison. A civil case would mean you are paying for damages. A civil case is a non-criminal legal dispute between private parties, typically involving rights and obligations under federal law, state law, or common law. Common types of civil cases include those involving breach of contract, torts such as negligence, probate, divorce, and intellectual property, disputes like copyright infringement. A civil case begins when a person or entity, the plaintiff, files a complaint alleging that another person or entity, the defendant, has breached a legal duty owed to the plaintiff.
There we go.
Plaintiff
Keyword,
and defendant,
alleged.
Defendant are referred to as parties or litigants.
Yes.
The plaintiff may seek a court order requiring the defendant to fulfill an obligation, provide monetary compensation, or both. Monetary compensation would mean money. He was required to. Let's look up the exact amount of money he owes her.
Addie, don't get involved with this. This is a debate we're learning. Let's not be negative.
You interrupted me. I don't care.
Talking to you. I'm talking to my sister. Okay.
Shut your
No, okay, Addie, go. I'm
he
not
owes her
talking.
80.
No, I just want to talk
He
to
owes
him.
her
No. Okay, stop it.
He owes her
I want to talk to this guy.
$83.3 million, by the way.
Go. Just go. I'm not listening to her either.
He owes her
go.
$83.3 million, by the way. That's how much he owes
Wait.
her.
Wait, say that again.
He owes her, he has to pay her, E. Jean Carroll, $83.3 million.
And where is this from? 3.3.
PBS.org. Let's see what else. Politico. What else? That's from the defamation case. 5.3 million from the sexual assault case. So adding up in all, it's 90.6 million in all.
But going back to your definition, you said allegedly, and that was my keyword, finding that, again,
not alleged,
civil cases. If he was found guilty, he would have been charged, but he was never charged.
Again, he wasn't charged.
He was found liable.
He wasn't charged because it wasn't a criminal court, right? If it was a criminal court, he would have been charged.
No,
but because it wasn't a criminal court, he was not charged. So when I say he was found guilty of sexual abuse, I'm just using the term colloquially. Guilty just means to be responsible for something, right? If you're guilty of eating a cookie, right, you're just guilty. You're responsible for eating a cookie, right? So if I say Donald Trump is guilty of raping or sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, and that's what the jury determined, all I'm saying here is Donald Trump is responsible for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, and that is what the jury found. And you cannot detest that fact. You cannot argue because it is a fact of reality that it is in court documents that Donald Trump is responsible for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll.
This is basic law, that it's just the difference between a criminal. So there's criminal, and then there is civil. Criminal is where you get charges. Civil is where you get held liable.
Okay, so hold on, Dad. Sorry, my dad keeps pitching, but I just want to say that two things. My first, I have a question for y'all, but before I say that, when you're in a civil or criminal case, no matter what, you're there to either be found guilty, aka go to prison, or not be innocent. No. And also, wait, hold on. And my question is to y'all. Addie, stop it. My question to y'all is that if Trump was found guilty, right, over an accusation, then he was found guilty. And what am I trying to say here? So then everybody found guilty in a civil case or criminal case, they're just found guilty. They are guilty.
So the first part is no. Civil court cases do not determine criminal guilt. Civil court cases again determine civil liability, and it's typically about finances, and it's about money and whether or not the person owes the other person money, right? So Donald Trump owed E. Jean Carroll money for defamation and then for sexual abuse, right? So no, civil court cases do not send you to jail because it's not criminal court cases. A criminal court case would absolutely send you to prison or jail. And then yes, anyone who is found liable in a civil case of anything, they are found guilty. Again, because guilty just means to be responsible for. So if you are found to be responsible for something, then you are found to be guilty for said action.
Do you know what the Fifth Amendment protects?
So wait, hold on. So are courts always right?
That's our court's always right. Sure, courts can mess up. Now you have to prove that there was actually reasonable doubt, because again, in a civil court means that there is no reasonable doubt, and that's why it is more likely than not that he sexually abused E. Jean Carroll. So what is the reasonable doubt that this court was wrong? What is the reasonable doubt?
Because there was so I believe that if he was actually guilty, I believe with the right evidence, if she had the right evidence, then this would have been brought into a criminal case, and that our president would not be our president. Hold on. It would not be our president, and he would be in prison right now. But that didn't happen.
It couldn't be a criminal case, again, because of statutes of limitations.
turn into a criminal case. That's what I'm talking about.
It can't be turned into a criminal case because of statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations prevent any criminal case from actually coming about once it's over, right? So it could not have been a criminal case no matter what.
And also, do you know what the Fifth Amendment is?
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things that it protects is double jeopardy.
Yes.
Do you know what double jeopardy is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you aware of O.J. Simpson?
Yes. I've heard. Well, actually, I heard of him. I'm not very aware,
Okay.
but I've heard.
Okay, let me just explain this to you. He was found not guilty in a criminal court. Okay? They then found him liable in a civil case, but that doesn't count double jeopardy because they are two different kinds of courts. That is an example of how it is two different things, okay? Completely two different things that have two different aspects of our legal system. They don't mean the same thing. They have they're completely separate. You cannot equate them. It's basic law. Please look into it.
Wait, can you? I'm so sorry. I actually really apologize. I do not mean to be smart about this, but can you please repeat all that? Because my mom was calling and it was like cutting in and out. I'm really sorry.
You're good. Okay. O.J. Simpson, he was found not guilty in a criminal case, correct? I don't know if you know this. Okay. Then he was later found liable in a civil case.
Okay.
But that was not counted as double jeopardy. This shows that civil and criminal are two different courts, two different legal processes, which do not account as double jeopardy. This means you cannot equate them. You cannot be like, oh, well, it could have been turned into a criminal. No, it can't. First of all, statute of limitations. Second of all, two different legal processes. All these different things. It's pretty basic law. And that's not meant to be in a rude way, but just like in a way, like, please look into this.
My issue with this is like I'm starting to think what y'all are saying, of course, but also I'm just confused because the evidence it just doesn't add up. There's nothing to prosecute him with at all.
The testimony. Okay, testimony. He lied. He was caught lying. And her story added up. Okay. And
lied about what?
He lied that he didn't know her.
And evidence can you show me to prove that he's
Let me pull up the. He said it in a
deposition.
I should probably go soon because a lot of people are asking to join.
So
okay.
Yeah, so he claimed it in a deposition that he didn't know her, and because of that, she provided a picture of them together. She provided a picture of them together, so he saw it lie there. He said that she wasn't his type, then confused him, her for his ex-wife.
So is this all like in records?
Yeah.
Or is this like her allegedly saying all this?
No,
saying
this is in court records.
This was in a deposition. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure depositions are filmed, so I'm pretty sure there's a clip of it out there. If I'm not mistaken.
Most likely, most civil courts aren't filmed, but they are in court records, and the jury would have heard it. So, you can look into it. And
my Wi-Fi is broke.
And
but I was sorry.
And then, so that the therapist notes the testimony of other people as well as her testimony. He lied. He also, although the dress was not actually put in as evidence, it was not filed as evidence because Trump did not offer his DNA up. The jury knew about the dress. They knew about the male DNA, and they knew that Trump did not offer up his DNA in the time allotted to him. That makes him look guilty. That does.
This, I would have to argue, this is, in my opinion, I'm sure y'all could agree in somewhat of a way, that innocent or guilty, because I still believe he's innocent in this case. I'm just saying that we could all agree that the system,
You have a bias. That's why you think he's innocent.
Or not necessarily, but
Yes.
I think that we can all agree that the court system did not do a very good job handling this, and I think that they should have. they should have
If it-
taken the dress for evidence.
Again,
they
couldn't
They-
take the DNA because Donald Trump did not give his DNA to actually match it to
Mhm.
the dress. Once the period of discovery was over, they could not accept it legally. They could not accept his
Wait,
DNA.
so I have a
whatsoever.
question. Like I have a genuine question. Like
Go ahead.
a genuine question. So
Yeah.
wait, with civil cases, is it different with civil cases and evidence than it is for a crime case and evidence? Are those two different things?
In certain cases, in like certain things, yes. For example, this case, yes, they cannot force Donald Trump to give up his evidence. To give up his DNA in a civil case. They can force you to give up your DNA in a criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
cannot
all I
force you to
was
give up your DNA in a civil case. So that I just wanted to say that's one of the things that is true about difference in evidence.
Also, just one more thing to point out here. What you're saying is that you don't believe any of the 26 victims that have accused him of sexual assault. Right? You're saying that every single one of those women are lying, right?
I never said that, but I'm saying
So
this.
do you think
case,
it's possible that he did sexually abuse one of those 26 women?
If I'm being I'm being honest here. I would need to do more research because I came in here with the intent talking about more immigration stuff I do know. So that would be something I would have to come back on where I researched and did my little.
Sure. What's one
But I
thing
don't
he
know
could do
a lot
that would
about-
like? What's one thing that he could do that would make you stop supporting him?
Definitely talking to children
Credible
and
accuser accused Donald Trump of child rape.
What about do you agree with like certain past presidents that had the stance of we don't negotiate with terrorists?
Wait, what? Say that again?
Do you agree with past presidents that had the stance of we don't negotiate with terrorists?
Yes, because I don't think you should negotiate with terrorists or terrorists.
Do you
Are you allowed to
think-
say that word?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think so. Do you think that invading countries for no reason and unaliving people is an act of teism? I'm just gonna say that just in case.
Situation. If you're talking about, I believe what he did.
Oh, you're cutting out. I'm not talking about Iran.
Oh, so here, let me. I'm sorry, guys. I hope it's a little
You're
better.
good.
But what I said was, if we're talking about the Iran war, I
I'm not.
completely support that.
I'm not talking about Iran.
And
You support
Okay,
the
well,
Iran war?
I'm not talking. I'm
Yes,
not talking
I
about
do.
Iran. We can talk about that later, but I'm not talking about Iran. And I'm not talking
Okay.
about Trump. I'm not talking about Trump attacking another country. I'm
wait,
not.
what
But
was
do you
what
think?
was your question again?
Do you
Okay, go ahead.
think
Sorry.
invading a country for no reason and unaliving innocent people is an act of teism?
Okay, define and invade. Like we're talking about invading, like taking over that country.
Successfully or attempting to.
So
For
we're
no
talking about we're
reason,
gonna.
in a sense, like they are not posing a threat to a country.
So we can both agree that you're saying that, when you mean invade, you mean take over that country and keep that land.
Yes.
No, I would not be for that.
Do you think that is classified as teism? In a sense, like it's not justified. That country is not posing a threat.
No,
they are not.
I
in,
wouldn't
like,
call that. I
violation.
wouldn't call that terrorism.
Unaliving innocent people.
Not that I
in the
would believe
process.
that's just. I would believe that's just.
Committing war crimes in the process.
I would believe that's just war and people trying to take land.
Again, committing war crimes in the process, unaliving a bunch of people.
I mean, that's what happens in
No reason.
war, no.
In the sense of it not justified at all.
We did it. That's how.
Again,
I mean, sorry.
does
what?
not matter if a bunch of countries do it. Is that classified as teism?
I would say no because, teism, it means you are there with, of course, like an ill intent to hurt certain people that you don't like. Am I correct? Like,
Let's see.
because I probably said it in a very simpler, weirder way, but I think I have a.
Terrorism, in its broadest sense, is the use of violence against non-combatants to achieve political or ideological aims. So, unaliving innocent people, committing war crimes against innocent people, and invading a country.
I would have to.
That would be classified as
disagree.
theism.
I would have to disagree.
That would fall under the definition.
How would it?
For no reason.
Because for no reason.
If you're targeting specifically military bases, that wouldn't fall under, because again, it has to be non-combatants, which means people not in the military. If you are attacking civilians, unaliving innocent
for no
people,
reason. Usually, people have a reason to do such.
Well, I'm not. I again, in this hypothetical, I promise this has some more to go.
Okay, sorry. Say that question again. So I'll just answer with yes or no.
Yeah, I think, but I think she's already answered no. Like, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In a hypothetical where there is no reason, in a sense that the country is not posing a threat, they are not committing the country being invaded, they're not committing like heinous crimes against their like own people. You know, they're not posing a threat to other countries around them. Okay, a country invades them and is trying to take over their land. They're committing war crimes in the process against innocent civilians, unaliving innocent civilians for, again, okay, would that be classified as theism under the definition that I just read to you?
Do these people have something against those people they're attacking, or is it just for no reason?
It's for political, political aim.
Then
again.
yes. Then yes.
Okay, it would be classified as theism. So you think that the U.S. should not negotiate?
If these people have a problem politically, like you say, or like religion-wise or anything, then yes, it would be. But if they did it for no reason, it would not be.
Okay, so it would be political. It'd be the country invading is doing it for political reasons. For like
that, it would be theism. Yes.
Okay. So you think that the U.S. and the president of the U.S. should not be negotiating with the country that's invading, correct?
Wait, say that again.
So you think that the U.S. and the president of the U.S. should not be negotiating with that country invading, correct?
With the people, are we talking about the people who are trying to invade us, or another country?
No, the country invading, the country that is committing the theism.
Like in general, like to our country or to another country?
Another country. We've done this before, where lesbian and we're like negotiate on their behalf.
Yes, so I believe we should negotiate if it's another country.
We should, or
and
we
if we have a peace, what is that? Wait, say that question one more time. I'm so sorry.
Should we negotiate with the terrorists in that situation?
No.
Okay, then why is Trump negotiating with Putin?
He never was negotiating with me.
Yes, he did. He met with him in Alaska.
And they made a peace treaty.
No, they didn't. There's still a war in Ukraine. People are still dying. Trump is basically giving Putin all the land he wants.
That's not true. I would have to
Look
fact
into
check
it.
that, but I believe that is not true.
It is. He's releasing sanctions. He's releasing sanctions on Russia and on Belarus.
He actually tried to end.
Hold on.
Okay.
If you don't know about Belarus or about Eastern Europe in general, Belarus and the president of Belarus, Lukashenko, is extremely in support of Putin and in support of Russia. During the beginning of the Ukrainian-Russia war, Putin and Russia in general invaded Ukraine from the Belarus border. So Trump is currently releasing sanctions on Belarus and on Russia. Belarus has activated their reserves. We don't know for what reason at all. Their military reserves. Okay.
Can I ask a
Zelensky
question?
is claiming that Russia wants Belarus to join into the war. Okay. So why are we negotiating with terrorists? Belarus imprisons people who challenge Lukashenko. They have rigged elections. They beat those people in the prisons. They are terrorists.
I got a question though. Who started the Russian and Ukraine war?
Russia did.
I would
Putin
have to
did.
disagree. Biden
Putin
did.
started it. Ukraine didn't do shit. Okay, I'm sorry.
Biden.
You're
Okay,
falling
no,
under
no, no.
you're
Ukraine didn't
falling-
do anything.
Hold on.
You're
Ukraine-
falling under
Hold on.
propaganda. Ukraine
She
tried.
said Biden started.
Yeah,
the war,
Biden did not Ukraine. I'm not blaming Ukraine. Ukraine.
Biden
literally
didn't start
against it.
shit. Biden didn't start shit. You have no evidence for
What's
that.
your
Yes.
argument that Biden started the Russian-Ukraine war?
Because, like my dad was saying, my dad could speak better. I'm not gonna lie on this topic than I can. I'm trying my best here. But I'm gonna tell you what I've learned or heard so far. I heard that the whole oil thing that my dad explained to you. I'm not gonna explain that well because if I'm being
No.
honest,
Biden only
And
put
then-
sanctions on Russia for their oil after the
that
after the war started, not
yeah,
prior.
That was after the war. Yeah.
Okay, try again.
that was oh.
They put sanctions after the war started. So how did Biden start the Russia-Ukraine war?
Addie, don't say those words. No. Didn't he also leave weapons in Ukraine?
You're glitching again.
Oh, dang it. Am I back?
Kind of,
Hello?
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna be here and say ignorant things, so I'm gonna have to definitely, like, I knew when it was happening, but ever since then,
I'll just tell you this: there's no evidence.
Yeah, yes,
There's
please.
no evidence like Biden actually started this war. That's actually just propaganda that Putin and Trump wanted to feed Americans. There's no evidence. But I have a question. You said you support the war in Iran. Why
Yes,
do you
I do.
support the war in Iran?
I support it because the dictator of Iran, they treat women like cattle horribly. They allow grown men to marry children, and
So do
when
we have child marriage, right?
in America, no,
I
we
just
don't.
want to let you know
Yes,
that
we
the war,
we do have child marriage.
the war, the war in
no, we
Iran,
don't. It's illegal.
the war in Iran has made people that are living in Iran support the IRGC more because they've started. Okay, we see this in a lot of countries during war times. People in the countries band together in support of their government. We see this in countries all over the world, all over history. A few exceptions being after a few years of Vietnam, people stopped supporting Vietnam. But at the beginning, people band together. But
really quickly, like back to the
people in Iran are starting to back the IRGC because of what America is doing. If we did not step in, there is a much higher chance that the regime there would have been overthrown, which I agree with you. The IRGC is bad. I don't like the IRGC.
right.
So you don't
back to,
think?
well, sorry. Go ahead. Respond. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I actually can. Okay, because I want you to say what you were gonna say first, so we can just.
I was just
keep
gonna
on.
go back to like the child marriage point. We do have child marriage legally
I
with legally with parental consent. You can.
That's
marry someone
not.
who's underage.
That's not in the what.
It depends on the
then
state, but yeah.
What law? Wait,
Depends on the
which?
state.
Can you give me each state? Actually, don't do that. Don't do all that work. Never mind. I would look that up myself, but I would have to
District
disagree. I think 16. No, you can't marry at 16. I think you have to be a legal adult.
No, 16, yes. 16 is more likely, but I'm pretty sure some states allow younger.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you
with
have to
parent-
be an illegal adult. That's
So
not.
with parental consent, it can be underage.
Yeah,
So
that's not
just-
legal. That's not. That's.
No,
It is legal.
It is with parental consent. It is.
You can
legal.
say it's immoral, but it is legal.
Yeah, so we
But like,
technically- yeah.
in what evidence do you guys got to back this up? Because I really don't believe.
Let me
this.
find.
For example,
let me find this.
the this is for my county, Maricopa County. If you are
Mm-hmm.
at least 16 years of age and under 18 years of age, the following are required: a certified copy and a parental consent form, along with the front and back of your parents' or legal guardian's identification, or have parents or legal guardians accompany you in present proper identification inside the parental consent form, in the presence of a clerk issuing a marriage license, and a copy of your birth certificate, and one of the following government ID. You get it, right? Basically, identification
Yeah.
of the child. The younger applicant's prospective spouse cannot be more than 3 years older than the younger applicant. So legally, a 19-year-old can marry a 16-year-old with parental consent. At least in my county, and it depends on where you're from. It could be worse.
Child
than
marriage is
that.
currently legal in 34 states, and 4 U.S.
But-
states do not require any minimum age for marriage with a parental or judicial waiver.
My question is though, why are we like low key like? What is the word? I just had it. Dang it! I'm saying like, okay, we know for a fact that's most likely not happening every day in America, and
It
that's
is.
happening every day. And women are not little kids in Iran. Like, I don't think y'all understand how bad it is over there, and women getting treated the way they are treated. And
Again, we're not disagreeing with you that the IRGC is bad. What we're just saying here is that American interventionism or us trying to do a regime change has more harm to the Iranian people. Threatening a genocide has more harm to the Iranian people. And we see this time and time, even within the history of Iran, 1950s, 1979, and currently. Right? I don't
But
think
Iran-
threatening a genocide or killing children is good.
they've been begging for help from other countries, and finally they get it. They get the chance to be free.
Again, that just
So why are we so against
just
that?
means- that just means that you support the Iraq War because the Iraqis celebrated when we took over Iraq and killed Saddam Hussein, right? But the Iraq was terrible, right? Bush said that there was weapons of mass destruction. Bush said that Saddam Hussein had ties to Al Qaeda. After multiple years, there was no evidence that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and there was no evidence linking Saddam Hussein to Al Qaeda, right? So the reason for the war, absolutely false. And again, we can take a look at Iran, 1950. We overthrew a democratically elected leader because they didn't want to like share their oil basically for like the whole like global market, and we overthrew their leader on a U.S. coup in 1950, backed with the United Kingdom and the United States. We put in one of our leaders, the Shah, I believe, and then the Iranians overthrew that leader, and then that's when the IRGC got in power. So because of us, the IRGC is in power now.
The leader
yes,
we overthrew was democratically elected, by the way.
right? Yeah. I not say that. I think I did say that, but yes. But now we're just basically seeing that again. The reason for this war is nuclear capabilities. That's at least what Trump is saying. Iran has nuclear capabilities. That's the main in regime change. Nuclear capabilities. We destroyed them in Operation Midnight Hammer, and there's no evidence to present that they had nuclear capabilities. And if so, why did Donald Trump take us to the JCPOA? So that first one's a lie. The second one is going to be regime change. They said that we completed all our military objectives. False. The son of the Ayatollah is in office, so there has not been a regime change. My point is here that this is the Iraq War 2.0, but instead with Iran, right? There's no justification for this war. If you want to say to overthrow the regime, sure. But let the Iranians do it. We don't have to bomb a school of 164 children. We don't have to commit war crimes. We don't have to we don't have to threaten genocide. And then you said he never did that. Yes, the U.S. military used Tomahawk missiles and struck a.
What was
an
the
all-girls school.
context? Like, okay, but also that's war. War is gonna happen, and it's sad. I'm not saying it's a
Doesn't make
good
it
thing.
justified.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm not justifying it, but again, war is war, and like they. How do I even explain this?
Would you
This-
support Trump if he threatened genocide against the Iranian people?
No, I don't believe genocide is. I believe genocide
So
is
you wouldn't
awful
support Trump
thing.
if he threatened genocide?
No, but what context did he put it in? Because I saw a tweet.
Context.
Yes,
Yeah,
context.
he said a whole civilization will die tonight, quote unquote. That's threatening genocide.
Never to be brought back.
Yeah, that's threatening genocide. When you're threatening a whole civilization is gonna die, you're threatening genocide. That's including the women.
Wait, say that?
That's including the women, the children that you're worried about in Iran. He said, "quote A whole civilization will die tonight." That's threatening genocide. And you told us that you wouldn't support Trump if he threatened genocide, and that's him threatening genocide.
He said, quote,
But the
"A whole
context of the war
civilization will
sometime-
die tonight, never to be brought back again."
Yeah, he's talking about what is it called?
Civilization includes civilians.
Yeah.
The definition of
understand that.
civilization includes everyone in a society. So he threatened genocide of 91 million Iranians. There is no justification for that. We cannot normalize that. We cannot be desensitized to that. That is him threatening
No, I
genocide to
understand
the
that.
Iranian people. So how can you still support him even after there's no justification for the war, even after he threatened genocide?
Because okay, I'm gonna have to again. I'm gonna be back here, trust. But once I get more information in and everything, because I'm not here to just be one sided. Because I know my dad is very, but I'm also here to learn. And I'm a lot of these things I notice I might have to do more research on, and I appreciate that. And I think that's awesome. We can talk about these things. But my only thing is, or what I'm gonna say, is that there's nothing really I can say because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a dead end.
At least you're not attempting. I mean, you kind of attempted to defend it, but at least you could acknowledge that you need to do more research. At least you can acknowledge that you might be
Also,
wrong. Now, I would love to continue the conversation with you or your father a different time. So whenever you guys want to
Can I
have,
bring up one more thing?
I was going to say, whenever you guys want to have like a part 2 to this conversation, if your father's on it or whoever else, I know some other people, but I'd love to talk about, like go into a deeper conversation, especially about the policies and the whole oil thing and with immigration. But yeah, Max, bring up one more thing, but whenever, I'm live pretty much every day, so we can
Also,
continue the
just so
conversation.
you know, Trump tried to get a memo passed through Congress that said Ukraine started the war. It got shut down by Congress, but that is something that Trump tried to do. Trump tried to blame an innocent country for a war where their civilians are dying.
See, like, it's really hard, I'm not gonna lie, to believe everything on social media, and I think it's really important today, like,
You can
education
look
is
into
so
it.
important. No, I'm not saying you're lying, but, it's just hard because media tends to turn a lot of things around, like that little boy, that 5-year-old boy, that, the media said that ICE, quote-unquote, detained, and in fact, he was not detained. Actually, they were going to go, detain his father, because his father was illegal, and his father ran and left the scene and left his kid there. So
Liam
the media
Ramos
gets
was in
mixed.
Ramos was in a detention center, if I'm not mistaken.
He was detained.
Liam
He
Ramos
was not
was,
detained.
Liam Ramos? Yes, he
hold on.
was.
Liam Ramos was put in a detention center.
No, he was
I believe in
actually
If we're
Texas.
talking about the same person, he was detained.
He was not detained.
If we're talking about Liam,
we are talking about the same person because I've heard the argument that his father ran, and this isn't about Liam Ramos. Yes, Liam Ramos was detained on his walk home from school in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, and he was taken by ICE and put into a detention center with his father. This is just a fact. He was detained. If we're talking about the blue hat kid, he was detained.
Yeah, he was not detained though.
Yes, he
Like
was.
there's
Again, you don't have to take our word for it. Again, you can fact check us, right? What I would suggest is download the app Ground News. It's Ground News. They do really good at giving you whether it's left leaning, right leaning, or center. And it's about news, right? So you say you don't believe social media. Download Ground News. Search up the topic that
well,
you
I'm
want
just
to
saying
see.
barely because it's just hard nowadays.
Right. But Ground News actually tells you which source is centrist, left leaning, and right leaning, and you can actually choose like what to look into, right? So I would suggest. I know earlier you said you were taking notes. Look into Liam Ramos because he was detained, right? That's just like an easy fact check. Politico, AP News, any news source that's like
he was
unbiased.
released though.
He was released, but he was detained. And then you can look into like what Max brought up in Ukraine about the Iran war and the genocide. Definitely need to do more research. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I feel like if you do more research or your father wants to talk again, feel free to come back on this live. Again, I'm live every night. And I would love to finish the conversation or talk about a different reason as to why you guys support him. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up before I restart or bring up the next guest?
Yes, I believe it's my time to go, but that's okay. I just wanted to say that sincerely, I do really appreciate how nice and kind you are because I'm not gonna lie, like, I've been trying to practice debating and it's been hard. I get yelled at, ran over, interrupted, and I don't even get a chance to talk. And I try to talk to these people like, hey, I'm open-minded, like, I'm open to learn your view too and change my view. And all I get is, this is a debate, not learning. I'm like, isn't that what I'm really
You're lagging pretty bad.
Oh, did you hear all that
No,
though?
you're good. I did. What I will say here is if you're just practicing debating and then you like realize that you're like that your position is wrong or that your position is like immoral, I think then it's time to like deconstruct and do some research. So I hope what you took away from this conversation about the whole E. Jean Carroll situation, about Ukraine, about Iran, we talked about a little about immigration. I don't know if you remember me telling you how bad mass deportation was versus mass amnesty. Again, take a look at American Immigration Council. Take a look at unbiased sources, and then deconstruct your views. Acknowledge that your views are wrong / immoral. And then either A, next time we talk and you've done like your lengthy research, you can tell me that you no longer support Trump, or B, you can tell me the reason that you do, and we can debate that and I can change your mind, or I can talk to your father. But again, I appreciate coming up here and giving me this debate. I appreciate your father for allowing the conversation as well. I think that there's a little work to be done, but again, it's as long as you're not defending things that aren't defendable, as long as it's not like insane and you're willing to learn. That's what we're here for. As long as you acknowledge when you're wrong and you change your views, and I think that's fine, right?
Of course, yeah, I agree. Of course, I'll be back totally. I will admit what I heard about. I'm gonna say allegations for now because I'm not sure. I'm not trying to about Trump and these girls and everything. Like, I'm not for that. Like that stuff just sickens me. Like, I think those people should either, like what you said, like life in prison. I wish our prisons were more harsher. Maybe I'd be more for not the death penalty, but
don't wish
I'm
for
definitely
harsher
for
prisons.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Please don't wish for harsher prisons. Our prison system is already fucked.
No, I mean harsher, like doing yard work every day. Like,
we already have that. We have slave labor in our prison system. Like, especially in like federal prisons and shit like that.
What I would just say here, one last thing, because I think it's been like an hour, but should be disqualifying for someone that has credible accusations against them, or has been held liable of sexual abuse. I think it should be disqualifying for them to run for president of the United States. Do you agree with me? You're on mute.
Stop debating with people.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I like Angel Lights. Okay, that's enough. Did you really? There's.
Okay, can I talk to you later?
No.
For sure.
Right now, I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna disconnect you. Appreciate the conversation. Hopefully, I know I was debating your father. The oil thing. Hopefully, he fact checked me on that.
Dude,
that was
you
a pretty
let me
lengthy
up?
conversation.
No, I was watching a little bit of it. You let me up, and I didn't know I got up, and I started dying coughing because I have my allergies are really bad right now. And oh god.
I appreciate the conversation. The thing is, I think she was raised in a Republican household, Republican MAGA conservative household. I know that she's willing to do independent research. It does seem like she's open-minded, but she does have that little bias of like trying to defend whatever Trump does. But I think a little more push, and maybe even convincing her father.
I can't.
Right? I think a little more push, a little more learning, and we can convince
Anybody that doesn't.
not only her mind, but like her family's mind.
How old was she?
I'm sorry.
19, 18? I forgot what
Anybody that doesn't put the blame on Putin for the Russia-Ukraine war makes me want to bash my head into a wall.
You know who does that, Max?
Shit. What?
You know who does that?
Who?
Your enemy that hops up on Cavings Live.
Anyways, I'm gonna
Dude,
restart
are we
because
serious?
I'm gonna restart
not
because
in a
I've had
trolling way.
No, like likes Putin.
He's
Russian.
Okay, I have
And his
Russian.
mom is Ukrainian.
I have Russian friends. Okay, and they all fucking hate that guy.
Did you say that gay?
Pause. Yo,
Sorry,
yo, I'm not gonna lie, Mac, that's insane.
mispronounced guy.
Anyways,
That's my fault.
1 second. I did not get good push this stream, so I'm gonna restart. Again,
He doesn't have a wife anyways, so he's probably fucking Lukashenko anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna restart. If you guys want to, if you guys want to come back, the two people on the panel or the people watching, if you want to come back, we're probably gonna do a little bit more debates.
Why do you have your
that
cell phone
conversation?
here?
Because I just in case that conversation was long.
Of what?
That conversation was an hour and a half.
Because of what, Jeremiah?
What?
Just in case of what?
I get banned and people like.
Regulatory
We are back. We are freaking back, dude. Again, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the conversation that I had. Do I wish that her father and her were a little more open-minded? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you can only do so much. You can only do so much to convince someone. But I appreciate the conversation. It was like 2 hours. 2 hours. But it's fine. Hold on. We're going to ignore the username on that account. What's up, Izzy? We're going to ignore the username on my account. I don't know if Ellie's going to come back.
not the
How's it
MAGA
going?
for life.
How's it going? Do you support Trump?
No, I don't. And before you say anything, I was born 2007.
You
okay?
summoned me.
W? You don't support Trump. Jackson, what's up?
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Do we know Jackson?
Yes, this is someone that we changed their mind on quite a different things.
Fully, like, no longer support Trump or only on a few things.
Wait.
Yeah, it's Jackson. Yeah.
Jeremiah
Ellie
Spade.
knows, yeah.
Wait a second. I don't know who that is. Jeremiah, wait a second.
You talked to him about abortion.
How would I remember who that is? I talked to a bunch of
Anyways,
people
Jackson,
about
what's up? Would you want to talk about something?
No, I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know that me and my girlfriend are finally engaged.
That's great.
Oh, yo,
That's
W?
amazing.
Oh, Jackson!
Took you a while. Congratulations on that.
Thank
you. Know,
I don't know you, but congratulations.
He switched from being like a mega fingers up his butt to back
I don't think
sorry. Sorry.
He was on the like the edge.
On the
right? He was
fence.
like he was on the fence. Right.
Right.
So that's he was open minded. That's how it was easy to like convince. And I remember you talking to him about
50-50.
abortion. Yeah, 50-50. But well, congratulations on that. I know a couple weeks ago you and your girlfriend were like, you were talking about you guys doing research.
yeah.
Congratulations on that. That's crazy.
Did you propose?
I did.
Where'd you do it?
I did it. Where was it? It was downtown Austin at this beautiful park we seen.
Oh my god. See, someone tell yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations.
In terms of politics, are you a liberal?
Me?
Yeah, are you a liberal or not yet?
Of course I am.
You're a liberal?
Fucking rights.
W. That's two W's. Two fucking W's. I appreciate you coming up, Jackson. I do want to get some debates, but again, you're always welcome here, giving us updates. I appreciate you coming up here. You take care.
Jeremiah,
Have a good wedding.
Yeah.
Right, invite me.
Weddings take forever to plan.
And Jeremiah, don't
Invite
you
me to the
ever
wedding,
say
too.
fucking W. You say fucking rights or you say W. You do not say fucking W.
I say
Because that
both.
is Canadian
Zach.
and American. They don't go
Zach,
together.
He's
Zach,
LARPing, bro.
I know you didn't. I know you don't support Trump, but what's up? You wanted to say something?
Now, like, I wanted to debate someone,
Oh.
bro, because, like, I've been, like,
You said
so pissed off.
2007.
Yeah, okay, yo, don't even say it, okay? I know I
How old
sound
are you?
young, but I'm
How old are
genuinely
you?
pissed off. No, because
You're a kid.
I was talking to, like, okay, I'm from Palestine, right? I was talking to an Israeli, a MAGA Israeli at my school, and, like, he said some, like, the most dumb shit. So, like, I kind of wanted to, like, you know, debate someone, because I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like, it pissed me off.
I do think you're a child, though. So
Yo!
I'm gonna unless you tell me your age. Go ahead.
Yo, 2007. Do I have to say
How
like the
old-
Yeah, how old
like
are
the
you?
day
How old
or
are
just
you?
the month?
I'm 07.
Your
How old-
age.
How old are you? What's your age?
18, turning 19 soon though.
What month?
What month?
June.
That's right. That's correct math.
What day?
Well, they're like doesn't.
No,
doesn't
no,
matter.
The
dude,
day would
this-
matter.
20. do I have to say that? Do I have to
No,
say
I'm
that
just
you-
joking.
you don't-
I'm
you
joking.
don't- you don't.
Obviously,
Well,
you'd be
they're
19
I-
either way, or 18.
Right. I am gonna let you down because we don't really have a conversation like many people like actually like defending like the state of Israel at least.
All right.
At least in this live stream. But if you like ever see like a conversation happening, you want to pop in, feel free to do so. You're always welcome out here. You take
Yeah.
care though. Have a great night. We're all gonna look for some debates.
Oh my god, I'm actually so allergenic right now. And like I have like, I want to say pancreatitis, but that's what caving has.
Heil Hitler, nigger, Heil Hitler, nigger.
I put a timer. Oh my god, Jesus, that was bad. Sorry you guys had to hear that gross person talk.
Oh.
A waste of space.
Oh, cuteness. I'm 7. And me and my boyfriend have been together for 2 years too.
That's insane. W. Jackson. Hopefully it's an amazing liberal relationship. Why are Democrats? Yeah, bud. What are you talking about? What's up? Hello.
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
Gonna be 18 or older to be on here. TikTok terms of service.
There's no way.
I don't even think he's 17.
Yeah.
John.
Oh, John.
John, hold on. Let's. John, what do you want to talk about today?
How you guys doing?
Can you admit that Donald Trump sexually exploited the women at Miss USA?
Wait, Jeremiah, before you
No, why
continue,
would I
your
admit
microphone is really quiet.
Can you admit that Donald Trump sexually exploited women at Miss USA?
No, why would I admit that?
Because he said he abused his position of power for sexual gratification, which is sexual exploitation.
Yeah, I don't think so. But could we be gentlemen up here and like have a real conversation? Like
We're having a
like
real
so for example, just to make it quick, like for the people's entertainment too. I'm bringing viewers up probably when I talk because we're controversial. But so let's say for example, let's say Donald Trump is a sexual predator, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's say that's true. I don't believe it's true, and you don't believe, and you believe it is, but we'll never agree on it. So that's fine. Let's say it is true. Can we move past that and talk about like?
No, I don't think someone should be. I don't think someone should actually be able to run for president if they have credible accusations or they've been held liable of sexual abuse. I think that should be a disqualifier. Do you agree?
No, well, anyone could make accusations.
Credible accusations. Credible.
What credible
and
ones do you
or
have?
being held criminally or being held civilly liable.
Yeah. So when you say credible, like for example, I've heard all of them. I've heard the ones where he says, "I own the pageant. I could walk in the locker rooms." Clearly, it's satire. Second, I've heard of
Did Howard Stern clarify?
Eugene Carroll. I think she's a whack job personally, and I think she's a liar.
Why do you think
she's money hungry?
I've heard she was a millionaire, but why do you think she's a liar?
RAPE is sexy.
She said people think rape is sexy. She didn't say she.
No,
thinks
she
rape is
said
sexy.
that.
Do you want to bet money on it? Do you want to bet money on it?
I'd bet money on it right now. She said,
How much money? How much money do you want to bet?
Hold on. Let me explain it, and then we'll bet money on it.
Sure.
She said specifically, people find RAPE sexy. Who told her that besides
I
herself?
don't disagree. You changed it. You said she thinks rape is sexy. You already got removed. But John already got a violation, bro. That's a W TikTok, bro. Anyway, she said people think rape is sexy, and that is unfortunately true in today's society. IDK, you're a child. John, if you have another account to come up on, feel free to do so, but you got a violation. Not gonna lie, that was an insane violation. So you're gonna actually come back on a different account. If you guys are in here, make sure to hit that follow button, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe if you're over on YouTube, double tap that phone screen if you haven't already. We're here on TikTok. Say what's up in the comment section.
And
repost the live, share the live, do all the wonderful things.
Okay. Are you done?
Link to in the bio, y'all. Go ahead.
Okay. So
What's
I
up,
put up a poll at the top. Okay. It's either you change the prompt, yes or no. If you go up to the left part of did you end it?
No, I didn't. I don't know who ended it. It was probably one of the other mods. No, Max isn't in the app. Who's mods? Only you are mod in here.
Yeah.
Oh, you and Sky.
Oh no, it didn't end. Okay.
That's still there.
So, In the top left corner of your phone screen, you can see like a little
Only for
notepad.
TikTok, by the way.
Hit yes or no on it.
You know what? We'll do a poll over on YouTube too.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah. So it's just to see, do you guys think we should change the prompt to something else? Jeremiah's has a few different prompts. We have, why do you think men are better at leading than women? Why is it wrong to be gay?
And then over on YouTube, the poll is over there. I think it's pinned. Just vote yes or no. I know there's a couple of you over on YouTube. Sorry, continue.
Who said no? I don't know who that is.
You
Who said
can you
yes?
show this all the time. What do you mean? And I'll see if you're a legal citizen. Don't support funding non-citizens. Undocumented immigrants don't get any federal funding.
Okay, guys, the thing is ending in 5 seconds. Go click on it to say yes or no to change it. Okay, we're at a yes. I know you voted no.
I can't vote. I did not read that name.
Dude.
Why'd you remove them?
It was a kid.
How do you know?
Because it was a child. Did you hear them?
They didn't say anything.
They said, yeah. Bring them back up.
That was me. They did not say anything.
Yo, hello.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 18.
When's your birth year?
I told you.
They didn't say anything though.
I told you.
They did not say anything. You're not gonna gaslight me.
Listen.
That's like you saying episode 13 was watched.
It was.
Was not. You already conceded that it wasn't.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. How's it going?
Hello?
How's it going? Sent you an invite to unmute. You support Trump?
Of course.
You have a lot of background noise. You seem very far away. If you want to jump back up, maybe disconnect from your car, disconnect from your Bluetooth, try to go to a quieter space, and I can let you up here. Over on YouTube, I'm going to end the poll. No one voted. Over here on TikTok, again, hit that follow button. Right now, hit that follow button. Make sure to double tap that phone, hit that follow button if you haven't already. Repost the live, share the live, do all of the good things right now, right freaking now. Make sure to follow my backup account. This right here is my backup account, also my troll account. So ignore the username. It says MAGA for life. Ignore that. That's my backup account.
Jeremiah's
Follow it.
is secretly MAGA.
Show some love to the panelists. The facts that Dems may claim about the files and no actual proof. Credible accuser accused Trump of child rape. Donald Trump sent a 50th birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein, saying, "May every day be a wonderful secret." Donald Trump said Jeffrey Epstein liked young girls as much as he did, or he something like that. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate you. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing, quite frankly. Set up new goal. 1. We're gonna do small. No problem at all. W. If you guys support Trump, don't the guest songs. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have a conversation with you.
W is he, by the way? She's been supporting the live a lot today.
My birthday is 2008, February 13. I don't believe you. Actually, I do believe you. Ellie and Max don't believe you. So unfortunately, majority rules.
I think I know who Izzy is.
Even though I'm like the host, but majority rules. Who's Izzy?
I went up on their panel not long ago. I might be wrong. But they talk about plants and stuff.
Lance?
I might be completely wrong.
Yeah, you could be.
It was like a
Most
few days
likely than
ago.
not, you're wrong.
Okay. Plants and gender, yeah. Yeah, it went up a few days ago.
Probably just gonna end. I've been on for 2.5 hours.
Dude,
It has been.
I was in your guest box when you were debating with that one person for like 5 hours, and you just decided to stare at your phone and yell at them. So I want to cry. I was so close to being angry.
I'm confused. What? When was I yelling at someone?
Or you weren't yelling, you were conversating with the father.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About it. I didn't let you up.
Yeah, or Max.
I didn't see the guest box.
Yes, you did.
I had to text his number and Discord.
I can see my phone, but I can't. I have to click on the guest box for me to see the actual people in the guest box. Look, I wanted to finish the conversation before like one of you came up, right? At
Change
least
the
father.
prompt at least. Come on. Making them. There we go. Oh.
I'm gonna end in like 7 minutes
Why?
because it would be 3 hours at that point.
But why? Why? Like, are you ending?
No idea.
It's like what? Not even 9 p.m. where you are right now?
8:30.
It's 8:31.
Yeah, exactly. God.
Play some games first.
Old man
You
over
know what? Mods, can we run a poll? See if chat wants to pick